actually Contrøller, the podcast that is actually Contrøller. And we are actually in control of everything you are hearing right now. I'm so very sorry.
What up, everyone? Welcome back to Actually Contrøller. We got Steve.
There's Chad.
Chris.
And there's a Jeffrey here.
So today we were talking about it and maybe do a little bit of a throwback episode.
Throwback.
Yeah, we're kind of like season 1 style. We're not going to have music review. We have
Chris,
nobody
he wants
to
you to
interview.
throw it back.
Throw it back. Let's go.
Well, actually, we can interview the drummer for the Kickbacks.
Oh, hey, yeah.
He's in the house today.
Yeah.
Hey.
That bastard.
And we should also get the drummer for Soda as well.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I just told him that I think I'm approved for my license plate. So
Oh,
stay
did
tuned.
he get approved?
Stay tuned for that.
Awesome.
Stay tuned for that.
Sweet.
Everybody will need to
It says it's
keep
in the
their
mail.
eyes peeled for a specific license plate
She
around
said if
Fort
it's in
Wayne.
the mail, that means it's on its
Yep,
its
it
way.
got approved. All right.
You know the drummer for Decade Divide, too, right?
Hey, he's a dick.
Yeah,
but
he
you
is.
went and saw them last night.
I did.
Yeah.
Yep.
You should have them. You should have him come out.
Yeah,
And,
he's got too much ego.
I heard he's just really busy, honestly, and that's
Yeah.
why.
Busy with the ego.
Yeah.
I mean, when you play with Decade with Divide, like
The good DVD.
You end up making divide
exactly.
everywhere you go.
There has been so many iterations, like at least with Contrøller, it's Contrøller.
Yeah.
And the kickbacks, every once in a while it's kickback or the kickback, and it's like you can't just get it right. Well, Decade Divide, like it's been Decade Divides, Decades
right.
Divided,
Decades Divide.
Yeah, no, we had the Latin up on the lat string one time, Decade Divide. I was like, where do you even get that? Like, did you run out of letters? I mean,
You had to try real hard.
Anyway, what are we talking about
Anyway,
today?
so kind of a
Today.
throwback.
You're not interviewing.
Doing a tour recap. The 2024 tour
Yeah, that's
recap.
right. We just did a tour.
Oh, so you
Contrøller
guys-
Elevate 2024.
So you guys get to pretty much just sit and listen to us jabber about nothing.
Well,
Yeah.
you can also refer them back to if our recollection serves us.
Oh,
Yes.
no. Here
They
we
can go back to the live videos in our Control Freak group.
Yeah, so if you want to see kind of a in real time happenings of what occurred for 25 videos worth of occurrence,
Was it 25?
Chris went live on his personal page.
That all stemmed from a coworker from my day job. Was like, hey, you should totally vlog it. And I'm like,
It wasn't bad. It was fun.
I didn't know what the heck I was doing, but I was all right.
You did a great
And
job.
now,
Facebook
and now Chris
Live.
is an official content creator.
Yeah, you're an
Content
official
creator.
content
Unofficial.
creator.
Crunt.
Cront.
He's an official crunk creator.
You're a crouton creator.
But yeah, all of those videos, so that way Chris didn't get inundated with a whole bunch of friend requests or anything like that.
Oh, I mean-
I made sure to share just all of those over into the fan group.
It would still work.
So
Yeah.
They were public. People could still just stalk my page.
yes, but to make it to where they
Like
didn't
I
have
did.
to stalk you.
Yeah.
Either way.
I went ahead and threw them over into the fan group, but
Either or.
on the fan page there is all 25 videos. So if you want to see kind of a real time of the actual happenings, because I'm sure there's stuff in those that we're not going to remember to recap here.
Oh, man.
But
Yeah,
there's
for sure.
also stuff that we're going to remember to recap here that we did
So
not get
depending on when
video
this
of.
airs, like we're already 3 weeks from
3
being
weeks
home.
past, yeah.
2 weeks
Yeah,
from being home. So
yeah.
like trying to recall things from like starting Friday, March 8th,
Right.
Right.
Fort Wayne.
So Fort Wayne for me, honestly, was
It's a
other
great
than
show.
a few logistic things, was a pretty cut and dry one.
Yeah, that was
honestly. I didn't
actually-
That's
feel
because
like-
it's hometown.
yeah.
Yeah.
We know what we're doing.
Yep. We know the staff.
Yeah.
We know the venue. It
going there,
did
we're
get
doing
a little
business.
hectic because it was a Friday, and that we had some. I don't want to say miscommunication, but that's pretty much what it was.
Yeah.
We had a band drop. It was supposed to be an early start. The band dropped. So as a result, ironically, as a result of the band dropping, we had a late start.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went back to what we were all under the impression the start time was supposed to be.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah.
I think it went pretty smooth. Fort Wayne, you guys showed out. Thank you guys for
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
pretty much almost
absolutely.
single-handedly funding our fuel,
Yeah.
which was always the concern for any bands.
Yeah.
We can share a burrito, but like we have to have gas to get there. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to have gas to get to the burrito stand.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
And Jeff now officially told me last night that because of this tour and the time in Texas, he is ruined for tacos.
Is this true?
In Fort
Dude,
Wayne.
the tacos in Texas
Oh, yeah.
were super on point. And
That was,
let me tell
that
you
was
what.
Tuesday?
That was Wednesday.
Wednesday? All right, we'll get there. So,
Yeah.
So Friday we were here in Fort Wayne. We were third. We actually were direct support for Heartsick and their
Heartsick,
package.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dead Cassette.
Dead Cassette.
Almost blanked out. Dead Cassette. And those guys are regional. So Heartsick's from Michigan and Dead Cassette's from like Ohio.
Yeah, and we're going to try to like hang out with them and do more with them because they were a lot of fun.
Oh, they were a lot of fun.
All
I was
of
going to
them
say, we had never met the guys in Dead Cassette before, but we were all rolling in at about the same time for door and for load in, and just the general banter
Yeah.
between their camp and our camp was
that's a mirror
the
image.
exact same. And
Yeah.
it was,
It's
we
like,
would,
oh, you hang out. That's cool. Let's go.
I think Chad at one point yelled out, "Can I get a hi-ya?" And
They
one of
all-
their camp just goes, hi-ya.
Oh, it was beautiful.
Just unprompted, unprovoked, just on cue. It's
Yeah.
like, and those are our people.
These are my people. I
So-
can hang out with these guys.
Yeah.
Fort Wayne went well. Thanks to Ed for getting us on there. We had discussed about making Fort Wayne the return trip, but I don't know. I kind of envisioned like this homecoming, like, hey, welcome back, hey. But it is a good idea to use it as a jump. We do appreciate you guys showing up and rocking out with us.
I preferred having it as a jump off because then it's like I get to see all my friends before I go on a trip, you know?
And also, usually, let's be realistic, a hometown show, usually you got a little more energy from it. You got a little more feedback.
That was the other thing I was
You
thinking.
can usually leave on the tour in a better spirit.
Yeah, and an
I
excitement.
was
of the
thinking
time.
more of the looking forward to coming home, but
True.
props to Moments After for showing
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, they did the thing. It was
They did
really
the thing. I'm drawing a blank. There was one other band.
No, it's just
Nope. It was just
them, us, Dead
Dead
Oh, that's
Cassette,
right. There was one
Heartsick.
other band. You're right.
Yep.
Was one other band.
At one point,
Yeah,
the
Heartsick
bill
showed up. You guys
supposedly
showed,
was $6
not
bill.
they showed up late,
Yeah.
which also created some confusion, communication. But
Yeah.
those guys like showed up, set up, and were like
And
ready
they
to lock
just
and load
went.
like
Yeah,
real
their
quick.
setup and sound check
So
was like
that's
just
good.
a
That
few
speaks
minutes.
to professionalism and
Yeah.
Yep.
being what's up.
Yeah, they're now signed on the same new little independent label that Taproot is. They all kind of have their own little
I didn't know
group
that.
going on up in Michigan right
I
now.
did say we
That's
should,
pretty
maybe we should try and get up there. I don't know.
Yep. Yeah, Alfonso and the whole camp seemed cool.
Yep.
Seemed to be digging what we were doing. We dug what they were doing. Hopefully, we can.
I'll
we can
hang out
connect.
again.
So we all
Yeah.
agreed not to stay out till 2,
Yeah.
except for me.
Yeah. So how did that go, Chris? How did they
That's
agree
good.
to stay out
That
till?
was good.
Oh, he
That was
probably
fine.
had a birthday party, right?
Yeah, it was probably a birthday party. I was about to say that.
I hung out over to Bobby's. I had a few more drinks, and
It honestly
I was
wasn't
fine, ready to
as
go the
bad.
next day.
It was not as bad only because we did not have an 8:00 call
oh yeah, so
like the last
I
tour.
left. I almost closed the bar down, but so Saturday, we can say St. Louis, but it was Alton.
Alton.
Yeah,
Alton.
Alton.
Beautiful venue.
Right on the other
I
side.
was
Oh.
telling. So we were going. Jeff and I were talking last night because
The
Jeff came over.
conservatory.
Yeah, Jeff came over. We worked on some music. We were having a few drinks, and I was kind of recapping all the different venues of just venue, not like how the show went or anything. Just venue. The conservatory by far was my favorite. That was such a gorgeous venue.
Awesome.
There's so much
and not
really
like
cool art.
awesome, like neat, but just like awe-inspiring.
Yeah, there's so
the
much.
art, the vibe, the staff,
Yes.
even the door guy. He's
Well,
like they were
and then-
all.
Oh, the door
view-
guy was a blast.
And the
Because
view from out the front door, you're up on a high elevated hill that directly looked into the Mississippi Basin.
Yeah, and that was really
so
cool.
we left Fort Wayne at like what was it, 10:30, 11 o'clock,
Somewhere about there.
Around
and
10:30.
started our trip. The first live video was somewhere just south of Indy. It was cold
Yeah.
and windy. I
Yep.
remember that. Some random pilot. Note to be said there.
Yeah.
But we show up to the conservatory right away. We were thinking, are we back in Pennsylvania because of all the
Yeah,
hills?
dude,
Oh.
the hills.
The hills and the
I did not I get it. You're on the side of a really big river, but my brain never considered that level of hilly country in Illinois.
yeah, that's true.
Yep.
Although nothing beat the potholes later on in the in the
Where's that?
trip. Remember
God,
they
that's our
had
drive
the
home?
signs.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what state that was in.
Was
though.
that?
that wasn't in Oklahoma? Was that?
Yeah, that was a few days later. I think it was on the way back.
That was
Yeah,
on the way back.
It was on our way home.
That was in Nashville area.
Yeah,
Yes.
Tennessee.
Yes.
What's going on with your potholes? And
Yeah, we'll bash
get
them
there.
here. We'll bash you soon enough. You
we'll
wait.
get there. But okay. So after Alton,
But yeah,
Can't
Alton,
remember the food.
Alton, we ended up. So we had really hilly country. We found that there was a parking lot completely empty behind. We were curious if we were gonna find the vehicle or not. So back there, 'cause it's like a construction site ish.
questionable.
So
Yeah.
we're like, all right, are we allowed to? We ended up as we were looking for a restaurant, we tried to tug on the door of the venue because we knew that they weren't technically open yet, but we were just curious if we could possibly get in. Somebody opened the door. Don't know if it was the owner or just a friend of somebody, but
I think it was the pizza dude.
But he was telling us, "Oh no! That's one of my buddies that owns that lot up there. You're fine if you want to go get there." We're like,
Yeah.
"All right, cool."
Yeah.
It was also Saturday, so there wasn't any construction activity or anything.
Right.
Yeah, it was
We
Saturday.
found a restaurant that was a couple blocks down the road.
Which would have been better weather. Would have been great to sit out on a patio
Yes.
and overlook the.
Yeah.
Which we did get some views later in the week. We'll come to, but great show.
Played with
Birds of Valor.
Squalor.
Birds
of Squalor. Birds
And
of
then there
Squalor.
was H7, right?
Following them on
H7.
the
Yep.
young
And
kids. I
then-
remember that.
Yeah, H7 was some young kids. Birds of Squalor, guys about our age and everything.
Yeah. They're a lot of
then
fun.
you had
They're pretty busy in
Foxland.
their area. I've been.
Foxland.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Foxland was another touring guy. He was a single, kind of acoustic
yeah, kind of
singer-songwriter
acoustic
idea.
folk guy, but he was
Um,
really fun.
And then you had there's one other band. Oh, Lousy the Coyotes.
Yeah,
Lousy
yes.
with
With Coyotes.
yeah.
Lousy with Coyotes.
So
They
we
were-
were also pleasantly surprised to getting drink tickets,
Yeah.
which
Yes.
right away, first day of the tour, saving some money on drinks.
That was
I
good.
do remember I
What
went up
type
to
of
get
special
a
drink
I
did
went
you
up to get
find?
a seltzer, and I was like, I'll take one of those. It looked like it was a can, but you could tell it was like locally canned and like wrapped. I was like, I'll try the flavor of the region. She's like, so you know that's CBD, and I was like, what? Because music couldn't hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, you know that's CBD, and I'm like, CBD? She's like, yeah. I'm like, bet. Do you do carry out? So I did not have it that night, and I had it when I got home, but
Was it good?
I bought black cherry CBD seltzer. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I was worried because when you infuse CBD or THC or anything like that, sometimes it
Yeah.
throws
Off
the flavor.
Yeah.
But it was actually pretty good. It
Right on.
had a lot more flavor than a White Claw that would.
How was
And
the body
Chris
buzz?
slept well.
How was the body buzz?
I did. I slept well. So I used it to self-medicate that night. I was finally tired of my
yeah.
sciatic and my groin. So I was like, I need to sleep. And I was like, let's just try this.
I think that was the night where I texted you at some point, like 4 or 5 or something
I
like
don't
that,
remember.
and you had hit me up. You're like, "Yeah, I came home and I passed out. I woke up at like 1."
Yeah. So
He probably needed the sleep. to
Oh
be
no,
fair.
I was happy. Because my reply was good. It's about time you rest.
so we left Alton.
Yes.
I think we tried. We were going to do a Taco Bell, but we all voted against it. So just screw. Let's just go.
Yeah.
Yeah, which
'Cause I didn't want to take a trailer through a drive-through.
Yeah.
that was the worst hotel though out of all of them, and it's not because of the hotel.
Yeah.
Unbeknownst to any of us, there was a
Oh,
basketball tournament going on. There was a gymnastics tournament going on.
So
and a
many
volleyball.
charter buses.
So we come pulling up, right?
Oh.
We
And
come
all of them
pulling
were
up.
at our hotel.
I gotta paint the picture. We come pulling up, and there are people bumping out in the parking lot. There
right in front of the main
There
door.
is blunts getting passed around.
Wait. To also throw this. This is at 1 a.m.
In the
this isn't
morning.
like,
Yeah.
earlier in
Are
the
you sure?
evening.
I think it was closer to 2.
It was.
No, it was about 1 by
it
the
was
time
like
we got
1.
there.
Yeah, but so he goes walking through the party
A
to
dozen
get
cars
to the front
out
door.
front,
Yeah,
which was really felt like it was like the back door
yeah
because we had
that
to
was
drive
really
around the whole
weird.
hotel. But I think it was front facing to the freeway.
That
Yeah.
makes
Correct.
sense. That makes
So-
sense. But yeah, like the entire house was bumping that night, and
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
so I walked through the party. Finally, after about 15 minutes, somebody finally walks back into the building to even check us in. Because there's no bell, there's no, like, if unavailable, call this number. There's nothing. I'm just standing there like, all right, somebody will show up eventually.
So another recommendation that I think I've adopted for next year and going forward is when we spring forward on daylight savings time, I'm gonna go to Central Standard Time
for
and stay the
at
night
least
for
a
the
weekend.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
'Cause
that
was
way,
nice. We didn't really lose the hour like everybody did here back at home.
yeah.
It was really rough getting back into work.
It was the next
not
day.
really. I think that was because we spent like a grand total of like 18 hours on the road.
That's true.
I mean,
Friday,
that is
Saturday.
true.
In terms of like I didn't really feel like there was any kind of jet lag on the way back because we had
Yeah.
already
You day walkers.
we were.
I don't have to worry about it.
All right, so Sunday. We
Well,
get up,
before we even got to
Uh-oh.
Sunday, you're jumping something. So, I guess it would be Sunday. Because I was thinking Saturday night, but it's all a blur at that point.
yeah, trying to recall this. I don't know. It's just, what did we do Sunday? What
So
did we-
Sunday
That
we
was,
got up and we
Anheuser-Busch.
looked at
Smoke
our
and barrel.
itinerary and we realized we did not need to rush,
Yeah.
according to what we were under the impression of at
Yeah.
that point.
Oh,
We
jeez.
didn't need to rush.
And then we went to
To get to Fayetteville.
Anheuser-Busch.
Oh yeah, so Sunday morning we were trying to decide what to do, and we were looking. You were looking at like doing just a hot tub spring, and I'm like, I think like my analytics was like, I don't know if we can logistically do that, like to get somewhere to change out of clothes, to do the hot tub, to change back into clothes.
So instead, we went to Anheuser-Busch and hung out with Clydesdales. That was cool.
Yeah,
a whole bunch of buff horsage.
A big bunch of buff horsage, and got to learn about how they
Don't water down their beer.
don't water down their beer. And
We don't
they,
ever water down our
they
beer.
put wood chips in their beer, so
Yep.
that's part of
Beechwood.
Beechwood, and that's
And they make some poor
so now
bastard
you know why I
go
say
into
it, Beechwood
huge
Haze
vats
or whatever. Yeah,
to scrape out the wood
Yeah.
every, month or 2 months or something like that?
Yeah.
3 weeks.
What I was impressed by was like that these giant vats were like 4 wide and 4 tall.
And then there's 2 buildings side
and
by
2
side with
buildings
those.
that do those.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, that's a lot of beer.
Yeah.
I think that is vastly understating the size of
True.
these.
Yeah,
I,
it's-
I don't know how to. So the best way I can describe the trailer on the back of an 18-wheeler,
Make that bigger.
slightly bigger,
Oversized
of that,
load
yeah,
kind
an
of thing.
oversized load, and do 4 of those side by side, and then tall,
Yeah.
and then make 2 buildings side by side. Do that.
It was something crazy, like 11,000 gallons or something like that.
I can't remember. I have a photo. Maybe we can put that up.
Yeah.
That
So
kinda had a sign of.
I ended up. You guys hung out in the little beer garden and had we got free samples.
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah, and let me tell you what.
I muscled through a beer.
But getting it less than
No, you must
12
have
hours.
half a beer.
Most
I
of the
took
beer.
off.
We
I
got-
took care of the
Most
other
of
half.
the beer.
We got that beer less than 12 hours old, and I will say that Budweiser does
Yes.
taste good when it's
Fresh.
fresh.
As somebody that
Yeah.
does not drink beer, I could tell you that I
There's a
don't know the
huge
quality
difference.
of a used beer, but I was like, this is almost tolerable.
Well, so we had 2 different points where we got free beer tastings. Actually,
true,
we had
yeah.
the option to actually try 12-hour-old Bud and Bud Light,
That's the one I finished.
Which
Yeah.
was actually decent.
and
And that was probably 12 ounces, 8 ounces maybe.
no, it
about
was-
80 ounces.
Yeah, between 4 and 8 ounces, depending
Yeah,
on how the
something like
pour
that.
was.
Give me 8, man. Come on.
I'll give you
Just
8.
give it to me.
It was 8 ounces.
Okay.
Oh, you had a full 8,
can
buddy. Yeah, I'll give you a full 8, buddy.
M.
That's not the safe word, buddy. Pineapple. But
Pineapple.
Ass pillow flip.
I thought it was hopscotch. Maybe that's
which
why
didn't
I keep
happen
getting
this tour.
screwed over.
no, that did
No.
not. Overall, the hotel time was pretty calm.
Yeah, actually, this time
But
around.
the option that you get is you get an opportunity to have 12-hour-old Bud and Bud Light.
Yeah.
That never hits a bottle. It only hits keg.
Mhm.
So I can say from somebody who does not like Bud, I can actually see why in the St. Louis area when it was very fresh and everybody that was drinking it was only within like miles away from the brewery.
Why they would drink
why
it.
they drank it and why it got so popular because it was much better fresh.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing that I didn't realize is they had a display of their entire product line.
Yeah, and there were so many different
And there was a
beers.
lot that I didn't realize was part of their product line, including one of the ones that's my staplement up at our local watering hole.
Oh, yeah.
Mango carts.
Mango
Yeah,
cart.
mango
Yeah,
Which
and
I think that's the one. No,
yeah, that was the
what
one
we had
grabbed
in
that's
the
the one I
beer
gave
garden.
to you.
beer garden. Yep.
Yeah.
So
But
I
you
did.
got
I
through
did
about
pick
half
up
of that
because
beer.
of seeing that display while I was over in the gift shop. I ended up picking up 2 build your own 6-packs for like $15.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
pretty good. Still haven't really been drinking at home.
I was
yet,
going to
but-
say, did you try any of them yet?
Yeah. No, I did end up at one point during the trip, I picked up a.
I was gonna say, I think you picked up more booze
Monster.
than anybody
I did,
else.
well, because I wanted to. Well,
So
so all right. So the last two tours, we were able to like party a little bit in the room. And
Yes.
Yeah.
we had enough downtime. And this one, I was, dude,
you were driving and then you were
Driving.
hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I was like, no. And then so I bought a lot. But then also I was trying to take in the region, so like I ended up buying the Mountain Dew.
Oh no!
Yeah.
What you bought made complete sense
Yeah.
of why you bought it.
I bought my
because it was
starter
a-
stuff for
that's
like
not gonna
depending
be
on what
there.
we got. Yeah, like
Yeah.
the stuff that I you used the word staple, but the stuff that I drink here at home. But then like I said, we're there. And I'm like, ooh, here's a seltzer that we probably can't get in Fort Wayne.
Right.
Yeah.
Ooh, here's a cider that I got. A
The
couple
CBD
ciders.
one you couldn't get. The
Yeah.
build your own packs. There was
Yeah.
a couple of them where we were talking about it of maybe you can
Maybe,
get that
maybe
one,
not.
but I don't
Mhm.
know. So you might as well get it now,
Right.
type thing. Just because
The one disappointment so far was the
Mountain Dews?
the Beast Tea. I think is what it was.
Beast tea. I'm trying to remember.
Oh, the hard tea.
Monster Hard Tea. Yeah,
Oh.
I'm not a big liquor tea kind of guy, and I get it. Just like again, I got to try it, but it 3 sips and I was like pouring a whole like tall boy down the drain. It was not good. Not bad. Uh-oh. Oh gosh. I did get the Mountain Dew ones. I like the Mountain Dew ones.
The Mountain
we
Dew one
shared
was
that.
pretty good.
I mean, we're jumping a little bit now, but we shared that at the hotel on when we finally got into Austin.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was our Cheers breaker.
Yeah.
But I think even you had some of the Baja Blast one. I wasn't
Yeah.
a fan of that.
I wasn't
He
either.
left it on the table. I know when he leaves it on the table.
yeah, this is
pretty
really
much.
not that.
He's
good.
like,
Um,
it's like the Jeff in both my bands. Like if there's alcohol left out and it's left untouched, there's something. No,
It's not good alcohol.
There was stranger poison in that.
Jeff was drinking warm beer last night just so it didn't go to waste.
I mean,
Yeah,
that-
warm.
that makes
We're
sense.
talking like 3 hours bottles sitting on the ledge.
That's
Oh.
that's this
Yeah,
Jeff.
well,
still
I'm just
me
saying,
too.
there you go.
Like
It's
dude,
a Jeff thing.
alcohol abuse is a horrible thing. Okay.
So before we jump fully into Texas time, we ended up in Fayetteville after we had our
Yes.
Anheuser-Busch
yes.
tour. There's
Hauling
some confusion.
ass.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
some confusion on that one.
Yeah.
So
because we were told to be there at 7.
yeah, we got
correct?
told a 7:00 load in, and then while we were on the tour
Well,
at
we're-
Anheuser-Busch, I get a message of you need to be here at 6. It's like, why? Well, load-in's at 6, and I'm like, no.
You can there you could logistics change all the time, but when the band's actually on the road and already literally got their itinerary, an hour is a big ask.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's huge.
It is. We did not make it work.
No.
Well,
actually,
within, like-
actually, no. I think we rolled in like 6:45.
Oh, did
Yeah,
you?
we rolled in.
Because
Yeah, we
it's
were
like at
there
this point,
for
it's like-
our 7:00 load in.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we kept talking about it. We had made like a couple gas stops and figuring out all the numbers, and even with Chris driving like a quote unquote grandma
Yeah.
and everything like that.
I was. Hey, people were passing me. I don't want to hear it.
So
I might have been
Quote,
doing
unquote,
80 and a
grandma.
75. Listen,
80.
you guys, I love
Yeah,
you. No, 80.
just 80.
Yeah, just 80.
Just
It was just 80. It was
Yeah,
just 80.
Just
80.
80.
That's awesome.
But
If I pushed more than 80, the RPMs were way too high for my comfort. Not trying to blow the engine on the way.
I think that's
But-
fair.
And I appreciate
Day
that.
2
yeah, yeah. But
It's like we're in the middle of Arkansas.
on the way. I mean, maybe on the way back from South by, but I want to at least get us there.
yeah. But we ended up rolling in at 6:45, which then we roll in and we realize nobody's really there yet. 6:00, 7:00. Neither one really mattered at that
They
point
had
in time.
they had a house kit that
Yeah.
we weren't really aware of either.
Yeah.
So that didn't even pose a issue.
That ended up
Logistical
changing
issue.
up. I will say the one part that sucked the worst
For the-
about the whole tour.
It was getting shoved. Our
we got
spots shoved.
our spot shoved every show.
Every
including
show.
the home show.
Yeah.
Every show had
Every
a spot
show.
shoved in some capacity of her. It's like, all right, this is the no, go over there tour.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
It's like, hey, even though we wanted you to be here on time, and yeah, we gave you a time that you're playing, you're literally not playing that time. Okay, we appreciate that you're here on time, but you're not playing.
yeah, exactly. So we roll in at 7, which honestly was kind of or about 7, and which honestly was okay. The patrons weren't really there yet. None of the other
Yeah.
bands were, which gave us a lot more room
Yeah.
to kind of navigate all the stuff in and kind of get a lay of the land.
Right.
I will say,
Trying to remember.
I did not have a specific idea of what Fayetteville was going to look like,
Right.
but it sure as hell was not anything I thought it
Greek
would ever
college
be.
town, you weren't
like,
thinking?
we were
just
full
like Central
college
college
town,
town.
Yeah.
and
I think
all
there was
the Greek
multiple.
houses
Yeah, there's multiple
were
clubs
all
where we're at.
brand spanking new.
Yeah.
Like 5-foot tall Greek letters.
Yep.
In every single one of their front yards, brand spanking new, pretty clean.
Yeah.
Like
I don't
Jeff had
think I-
pointed out, not a single cigarette butt
on the streets.
on the street
Yeah,
anywhere.
I
anywhere.
don't think I observed that. Probably because I was trying not to hit people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean the streets were quite narrow right there. Very modern, updated bars.
Yeah,
even on that
everything
main
was
street stretch.
everything was a 15-minute walk.
Smoking
It
Barrel was a
definitely
nice.
that.
It was nice too.
Yeah, there's the
I-
sound guy there was awesome. He was
Booch.
Yeah,
Booch.
Yep.
Booch. He was very helpful and inclusive, and had a lot of fun stories.
Good
to
mix
tell
of
us.
music. We had like I remember there was a punk group. The dude
Yeah.
and Steve kept saying he should be in a metal band. It's like he's just got chops. He just
Yeah.
No. His style
He's
The
choices.
drummer,
Chops.
the drummer.
Yes, the drummer for the first band. His
Oh, yeah.
style.
He's had chops.
Yeah.
Unlike me.
No, you have chops.
The drummer
should-
from Decade Divide has chops.
Just remember for
Him on the
like,
other
he
hand.
sucks. He just
No,
he has
like-
so many 4 on the floor songs. It's stupid.
Well, he's doing
Pop.
covers, dude.
Pop.
Hello.
Pop piece of whatever.
He's doing covers, dude.
Yeah.
Can you hate on him? Come on.
No, because he makes money.
Yeah.
Good on him. Makes some money.
Make
Right.
that money.
Fun that habit.
But yeah,
Um,
Smoking Barrel though overall it was a really cool vibe.
Yeah.
It was a little bit of a weird location though because technically you had Main Street,
Yeah.
which is where all of the other bars had their front door at. And in order to get to Smoking Barrel's front door, you had to go into the rear parking lot of all of those bars. And
Yeah.
that's where their front door was at. So it was definitely one of the locals, if you know type bars.
I was happy that we were able to pull up basically right along the back and
Oh, that was
unload
beautiful.
and
Load in.
wheel everything in because when we started pulling up, there was that moment of, are we going to
Where are we going to park?
Where are we going to
there was a
take
moment of that.
all our stage box
Steve's
up
inside-
those stairs?
Steve's
you know?
inside checking in, like where we're gonna park and things like that. And I get out of the car and just start walking the parking lot. It's like, all right, when we're done, where am I putting this trailer?
Yeah,
Right.
so I'm in there doing the tour manager thing, finding out who our point is, who sound guy is, where the gear is going, where we can park, and all that
Right.
stuff. And I'm like, dude, where would trailer? And he goes, oh, right there, just on the side. That's enough room.
Right on the fence.
And I was like,
right along the wall that says no parking.
Yeah.
he's like,
That's
Yeah.
why I didn't.
and I
didn't
was
think
like,
of it.
are you sure? He goes, it's Sunday, you're fine. I'm like, all right, I'm taking the word of the guy at the venue, and
Yep.
if things go sideways, be like,
You
venue
owe me
guy.
this.
Which we almost parked him in. I didn't realize we were parked right up against his truck, but
But
it was
yeah.
a good show. Kind of a small venue. Everybody stayed. Some great energy from the room.
Yeah.
Some guy was there celebrating his birthday, so he was having a great time.
Oh,
That's
yep.
always good.
Handed out a lot of cards to people. I met what was his name? I'm drawing a blank now.
From Teo Velusi.
No, the guy that does he does lighting and whatnot.
Oh, I
for-
have no idea. I wasn't.
He was
part of
headed
that
to
one.
South by Southwest
Gotcha.
himself
So,
to do a bunch of stuff with lighting.
We were working with a promoter. You want to give him
Yes.
some props?
So
Yeah.
Joe Swank.
Yes, Joe. Thank
Thank you for throwing us on that one.
Thank
Oh,
you for
yeah.
showing up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Thank you for
it
showing up.
sounds ridiculous, but like the number of shows we've done,
for with promoters that don't even.
and there's
bother.
no point of contact. Not just a promoter. Like if you're gonna book a show and you're not gonna show up, you still need to make sure.
That we know who we're supposed to talk to
Yeah.
when we walk in the door
Right.
instead of me just walking in.
Yeah.
Hi, we're playing tonight. I don't know who I'm supposed to be talking
Who
to.
would
Right.
depend?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm from out of
but not
town.
only was he there, he was also there shooting photos.
Yeah.
So
We get
I haven't
some of
gotten
that
a
back?
chance to see any of those yet. He said he was going to be trying to take some time, do some good edits on everything before he put it up. But he was shooting photos of all the bands that night. So not only was he there, not only was he repping the show he put together, he was also interacting with the show. So awesome all around.
As a result, isn't he part of what's happening for May 17th? Like he's not, but
So he
Sent us a
is
band.
a booking agent for a multitude of bands and everything, and a lot in the Arkansas and Oklahoma region. However, the bands that are out of that area, he tries to help with nationwide touring.
See, kids,
One of those
that's
bands-
called networking.
Yep, one of those bands is Through It All.
Yeah, and they will be
Oh.
joining us.
Yeah, they just wrapped up a coast-to-coast tour, actually.
Wow.
And they will be joining us.
They
on-
did from West Coast to East Coast and everything in between in 2.5 months.
Hashtag 2025.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go.
And they
I can take 2
are
weeks off
at
in a row.
home. From the way that everything was reading, they're at home for about 4 weeks, and then they're back out for another 3 months straight.
Yeah.
Nice.
So they are road dogs.
So make sure
Through
you
and
show up
through.
May 17th.
Yep,
Support
at the
Through It All.
Ruin.
Yes.
And we
Through
will
It
be
All.
there
Yep.
with My Darling Death.
Yep. Other Fort Wayne peeps.
Yeah.
So we left Smoke and Barrel.
Yes.
Steve and I about got into fisticuffs. I don't even remember why. I just mad at him.
At Waffle House?
Oh, I remember this.
Steve almost got left.
I remember this. I do remember this. They almost got a divorce. Mom and Dad almost got a
That
divorce.
is actually on a
the road.
live video.
Was there live of me actually running?
No!
It would have been great though. Okay, so yeah,
Chris
he's-
almost pissed his pants.
as we're paying to leave the Waffle House,
I'm the last one to pay.
and we all know it. And so Chris, we all go to the car, and
Briskly.
Chris is following along with all of us. He starts up the car, and all we see is Steve come around the corner,
Well,
rushing.
Here's
He's
the funny
running.
thing, because I was paying before Steve. He even made a comment. Chris is gonna leave my ass.
No.
So I finished paying, and I go. I just
I
like,
stand by.
out
If
the-
I didn't have a trailer to screw around with, I would have circled the lot just to make you sweat a little bit.
Oh, I knew what was happening. That's why I was like, nope, I'm getting it.
So we get to Waffle House, and one of the other bands was there.
Yeah.
So we did the whole like, hey, it's okay, guys, head down, and we went and did our thing.
Which band was that? That wasn't Teo of Lucy. That was
That was the
Oh,
first
that was
band
Coffee from
played.
Kansas.
Yeah, Coffee from Kansas. So we should state the bands that we played with. Coffee from Kansas.
Coffee from Kansas, Teo of Lucy, and Liquid Courage.
Thank you, Liquid Courage.
Liquid
Yes, there we
Courage.
go.
Yep.
So those were our homies out in Fayetteville.
Correct.
That was excellent.
Jeff's order gets messed up, so once again he's like, "Oh, we could just go, guys." I'm like, "Nope, you're gonna eat." He's like, "Well, it's okay, we're tired." I'm like, "Man,
Eat
you're
your
gonna
food."
eat your food." Like,
And so I stuffed it in my head as fast
We're
as I
not
could.
rushing.
Because, like, okay, though they said all that, I'm watching my boys, like, lose steam. And I'm like, we still have a bit of a drive before.
Yeah, we had about an hour or so between
So I'm
venue
just
to
trying to
hotel.
wolf my food down as quickly as
He was
possible.
gonna like take it to go. I'm like, "No, we all got to sit here and enjoy our food. You're gonna enjoy your food too."
I was going to take it to go because I didn't want you to have to wait for me.
And I will say, I don't know what stars aligned. So the hotel that we got in Fort Smith, Arkansas, it's about an hour south or so from the venue.
Yeah.
Thank you again, Austin.
Yes.
Love you to pieces
You're amazing.
for helping us out with the hotels. But this one was an exceptionally unicorn situation. The whole thing was recently remodeled.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And we managed to get it for a dirt cheap price
Yeah.
on that room.
Yeah, and
I've not gotten us a room that cheap, even with the sketchy pay by the month ones that we had on the first tour.
you know, and everybody that worked there was super cool too.
Yes.
Yeah, they were. Anytime I'd go out to smoke the evening cigarette or whatever, they're like, "So how'd the show go?" You know, and then I started meeting people like I always
Kinda
do
drawing a
because I
blank on
kind of
this one.
talk to everybody.
This was the one that we had the outdoor pool at, so we technically could have gone swimming
Yeah.
in Fort Smith if we wanted to. This was the one where so we had the lot that was kind of at a slope that at the edge of the parking lot was just a cliff drop down, but we had the railing and everything. We rolled in to that one at
That was an in and out. Like we got there, slept,
Yeah,
and
that-
said, let's go.
They
Well,
ate
but-
food and left.
But that one, because we had nothing to rush to, we slept in at that one. That one was we stayed until checkout. Let me rephrase that. There was never a point on this entire tour.
That
We
is
slept in.
we
savage
ever
for us.
slept in, did we, Chris?
No,
No.
not at all.
Nope. Was it my fault?
You and one other member.
I don't believe it was my fault as much as another member's fault.
I will concur with that statement as much as.
I'm not arguing.
I'll
that
even add the
statement.
word nearly as much as. I will widen that gap.
But I will say, leaving that hotel, we got to do Whataburger.
We did.
Whataburger.
Whataburger was
I just teased my kids about it
delicious.
today. We had my mom came over. Today is Easter. We're recording on Easter.
Yeah, happy
she
Easter,
came over to
everyone.
bring little Easter treats, and they still had their Valentine's treats because we don't like the candy hearts. And
Right.
I failed at like hiding them before she came over. So she's
Good
like,
job,
"You guys-"
bunny.
She's like, "You guys didn't eat those." It's like, Mom, we don't really like them, but. I broke out my Whataburger bowl today and poured them all in the Whataburger bowl.
You still have that?
You're like, yeah, it's reusable.
That's awesome.
So
I know it was
It's a tour memento.
I know it's reusable. I mean, Jeff reused it in multiple
It's an
facets.
orange. I got wings.
5 or 6 different times.
Oh yeah, I gave him my lid so he could microwave.
Got wings,
something
which
on the
weren't
lid.
really wings or chicken nuggets, but
Yeah.
Anyway, I still have it. I'm currently using it for
I threw mine away.
candy hearts.
Fair enough.
Like
Yeah,
I
so what to do
I
with
kept
them.
it for hotel use, but then after that I threw it away.
Yeah.
I should have taken it from you.
So
Didn't wanna-
we did do something on this tour, and this is probably a good point to bring up this thing that we did on the tour. We ended up at a this or that point in the tour.
Oh,
because
yes.
How long this drive was.
Oh good lord.
We did a lot of
that was this leg too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This or that, and it was in regards to bands, in regards to songs, in regards
Movies.
to movies, in regards to fast food restaurants.
Yeah.
And
It'd
that
be
kind of
something simpler like Seven Dust or Non Point. Who would you choose?
Correct.
Yeah.
And we kind of
Seven
it
Dust.
kind of spurned the
Yes.
idea that we might throw this poll up for everybody, at least in regards to the fast food hierarchy of the not generic like everybody can get to McDonald's. Or
So
Burger
yeah,
King
I think
type
we're all in
thing.
agreement. Like when we
But
do road
regional.
trips, that you try not to do the norms.
Yeah.
Correct.
Like,
Yeah.
like they're there. So if we absolutely had to hit something, we know it's safe.
Yep.
Yeah.
But like if you have the opportunity, we were planning. We got to do Buc-ee's. We got to do Whataburger.
Yeah.
Dude, my
Sonic.
jaw dropped when I found out there was Whataburger.
Yeah, we did Sonic.
We made Sonic.
and
That
we
was
did an
that was a bad
In-N-Out.
experience because of the location, I think,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
weather. I
The
think
weather,
if the weather was better. That would have been
the food
better.
itself wasn't
Yeah.
bad. So
Oh,
still
Chad literally had a moment
I'm
from the cherry limeade.
Still
Oh, yeah, the
salivating
cherry
with those
limeade was
mozzarella
all
sticks,
about
though.
yeah,
I literally
remember.
talked about it today to my mom.
Yeah, I remember you being like, "Oh my god, these mozzarella sticks are perfect."
They
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
But
So anyway, we're getting way ahead. Where
yeah,
we at?
so
Where
we're
we at?
way ahead of this. But this is the point in the tour where we
Food.
started talking about the idea of possibly putting up a poll for all of you to argue, because we already had this argument in amongst ourselves of the top regional fast foods places and
Yeah.
everything. And that's including your Sheets. That's including your Buc-ee's. That's including
We did do a
your
McDonald's
Yeah,
Yeah.
we did do a McDonald's one time.
because we almost did Zaxby's.
Yeah.
Correct. But they were closed.
For the people that were there for that live.
That live.
That 30-minute live.
That one
I
you
was
can-
married to.
I was angry. You guys all were like, "Look, it's a sushi place. Oh, look, it's open. Oh, look what we're not getting." I'm like,
I don't eat sushi.
that's not my fault.
I'm driving.
It's still not my fault. Yeah, like,
No, that's a genuine one. That isn't his fault that you're the only one who
No,
still
decided
not my
to drive.
fault.
I'm not using it as an excuse. I'm using it. That's why
I'm just
Oh,
saying.
I'm
leverage.
driving. Just like I control the radio, I control the steering wheel.
That is fair.
Turn! No. Turn! No.
That is fair.
So we at that point though we kind of it came up with that idea. So we might throw that out here soon.
We should do, okay, so we should mention the ones we've stopped at, not just this trip, but I don't know if there's any others, but also
Wawa's.
like,
Wawa's,
Wawa's,
yeah.
we shouldn't include Sheets, but also like next year, should we go on a tour without killing each other? We're just gonna-
There's speculation that's always attached to every tour.
We're just gonna plan the fast casual dining tour next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where should we go eat
We should
while
do-
we play music?
And
Where should we go eat?
So you know how the joke meme was going around of bands are just T-shirt salesmen that do a 30-minute presentation. We're actually fast food connoisseurs that do a music
Well, so
interview.
this is
How
the
many
thing
times
also.
were we sitting in the restaurants critiquing like every bit of what we were sitting there eating.
We probably
And
could
comparing
actually
it to
make a
other
lot more of
restaurants.
a following if we did actual YouTube videos.
Ooh.
of
That's
our
what I'm
critique
saying. That's what I'm saying. We need
Bands
to
discuss food.
we
We
need
did.
to
I-
start doing like a vlog of us having food in between our show. You know.
So Monday was the hall.
I think
in
that's a good
Austin.
idea.
But
Yes.
was Monday the day we actually had to like pull off real quick for a bathroom?
Yeah.
And we ended up at like 3 places.
Yeah.
Apparently nobody has public toilets these days.
Yeah. I
But then
almost
we ended up at a
exploded.
Jack in the
That,
Box.
that was on our way. We were in Dallas when that happened.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
But
were-
we could not turn down the gas that we had found. We found a Walmart.
Yes.
That the Walmart it was closing, but the Murphy gas station for some
Oh.
reason that was attached to it
It was like
still open.
just over $2 or
No, it was like-
$2.60.
No, it was like $2.78 or
And
something
yo,
like that.
Dallas.
Either way, it
it
was,
was
like
still a good 30-40 cents cheaper than everything.
ridiculously cheaper than
Yo,
everybody
Dallas,
else.
your
You're welcome.
stop and go highways bother me. Okay, like that was the rough one, man.
Dallas, just in general.
Yeah, that's probably the closest we came to being in an accident.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The stop and go
And
highway.
that's because of we were traveling pretty smoothly, and it just came to an abrupt stop. I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
we
that
were-
was literally like after I had shared my story about being in Chicago like 2 weeks prior.
Yeah.
And had
Yep.
the same instance, 80 miles an hour to 0.
Yeah.
Like, we're not talking like slow rolling.
No,
this
no.
was
just
a
slam
run
on
for
your
the
brake.
shoulder type
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah.
But
There were a couple times where cars
So-
in front of us
so
were like,
Chris-
This was the leg we did Buc-ee's, right?
yes,
yes, because right
Yes.
outside of Dallas.
yeah. So, but before we got to there though, so we stop at the Murphys. We're expecting there to be a bathroom.
Oh,
of some
my God.
sort. Chris, at
Bob,
this point,
every
Chris
Murphy's
like
has a bathroom.
30, 45 minutes prior, he's already like, man, they're floating.
I'm
I gotta
already
go.
saying I gotta go.
I gotta go.
I'm
It's
holding
like-
out
I'm
because
like
I know we're coming up to a
walking
gas.
over to the Walmart at this point, the closed
So
Walmart.
Jeff just
I
found
almost-
a wall on a closed Walmart.
When I said
But
that I
I
almost left
didn't, though,
Steve,
'cause-
listen, I almost left Jeff and Bob. Nope. I have to pee, and they're on the other side of this Walmart, like across the entire parking lot.
well, I was going to go pee. Man.
Well, I was going to legitimately go pee, so I was going to leave your ass and go pee somewhere.
So we leave there. He punches in the next nearest gas station that didn't require us getting back on the highway. We pull in, and it is an instant. You can look at it and know there's not a chance.
There's not a bad.
We almost picked up some workers. They were.
Oh yeah, they saw the trailer
Saw a
start
truck with a
waving
trailer,
us
like,
down.
hey man, no, we're not your ride, bro.
Wrong vehicle.
We barely
No
get
seats.
inside. We realize there's no bathroom. We turn around, we go back out, and that's when it's like, let's find a restaurant. Like there, I think we looked
Yeah.
for McDonald's, but like
I almost recommend. There's a hotel literally next door. I'm like, just run into the lobby, dude.
almost. It's probably
Almost.
been locked though. knowing the
Yeah,
area.
knowing
The
the
area
area
we
and
were in.
everything. But
I would say it was the
So
best
I got my
area.
Jack in the Box because Steve absolutely hates Jack in the Box, and that's only because we did the whole like, oh, we used your bathroom, thank you. Let me buy two
well,
tacos.
and because they literally had to buzz us into the bathroom.
really?
Yeah, so we walk into the bathroom, and Chris and I walk up to the door, and all of a sudden I hear a
Yeah, I go straight to the
Yeah.
bathroom. Like I'm gonna, guys. When I say I'm gonna, I had goosebumps that were ready to just sweat my urine out. I mean, I was ready to go, and I started heading to the bathroom, and yeah, all of
Yeah.
a sudden you're, and you hear it click, unlock, and I'm
it's like, okay, open.
perfect timing, dude. Because if I had to go to the counter to ask for you to let me in,
I would have
right
peed
there.
myself right there.
But to make it even funnier, though, the lock is so quick, though. Chris got in. It would instantly, like, I couldn't get to the handle quick enough. I had to wait for it.
That's just because I had to go that bad. I was like, no, I don't care who's in my
I'm
trail.
not holding this damn door.
But, I mean, the spring reaction was that quick to close, and it just instantly, as soon as
Instant
it
lock.
hit, it locked. I'm like, and I, like, jiggled the handle once. I opened the door. Chris just in there.
Oh my god! So I got my Jack in the Box crispy tacos.
Yeah, I bought the 2 tacos.
I
Just
have to road
'cause
trip for
I will
some of
say
those.
I did not try Jack in the Box.
Yeah,
out
I
of
didn't
all that we
either.
stopped
They're
at.
up in Michigan too.
Well,
so
we
you
also
don't have to worry
right,
about getting
right.
To
all
be
the way down
fair,
there.
we had already planned on Buc-ee's, so there's
Yeah.
no reason
Yeah,
for you to like walk.
yeah,
over.
we had Buc-ee's on the plan.
Yeah.
That was our
So-
dinner.
And I gotta say the Buc-ee's
we stopped at
burritos.
Penis.
The Buc-ee's burritos
Oh.
are perfect for sitting inside of the middle section of.
If you own a Ford Flex,
If you own a Ford Flex, in the back they have the little hidey holes for
that's
putting.
known as the burrito holder.
It is now known as the burrito holder. It's perfect.
So for those keeping score, besides the burrito holder. I did go live again. So on the Control Freak page, we showed up. I basically went live right out of the car.
Walking.
Yes.
It was like 11, 10, 11 minutes. If you watch that video, I only showed you half of the gas pumps.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was the front of the building. There was a whole other set of gas pumps on the side of the building. Not even
And
make it
from
to.
what we understand, that's one of their normal size Buc-ee's.
Yeah.
That's not one of the like super ones.
the super
or
one that we
anything like
stopped last year.
Yeah.
So yeah, I walked through the building real quick. Showed some of the merch real fast. Basically went from one end to the other. Did a zoom once I got to the other end to show you the distance. It's a pretty good sized place.
Yeah.
Don't plan on eating there because they do not have tables and chairs. They want to get you in and out.
Yes, so they still deem themselves in a lot of ways a convenience store,
Yes.
not a stop and stay
So
like
if you
truck stop.
if you get your messy barbecue brisket or whatever, you better plan on eating it in your car or at your car.
Because the other part that sucks, at least at this location, there isn't even any outdoor tables.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
Like, there's no picnic tables floating around out in the medians,
Well, and it's
anything
because
like that.
like you were saying, they
Yeah.
consider themselves a convenience store, not a. They don't want you hanging
Quicker
out.
turn means more people can get in and out.
Right.
Customers.
Yep.
Now,
we did not do a quick return.
fast
quick
forward.
turn in
Fast
and out,
forward
though.
a little bit on the way home. If you are traveling towards Kentucky, I don't
Yes.
remember the exit, but
Oh, there's a
Buc-ee's.
brand
It's gonna be
new
about 4
Buc-ee's.
hours
There
away.
is a brand new
They're getting
Buc-ee's.
closer.
We were... No, that was in Tennessee.
Was it?
Was
I
it
feel like
still
only
in- I
4
thought it was
hours,
in
though.
Kentucky.
No, I'm
Was it
pretty
in
sure it's
Kentucky?
the-
Yeah, because that was
I'm
right
pretty sure
before I
just
asked you where.
before the
Oh, no, that was
border.
post us leaving Nashville, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was.
But it was just before we hit the Ohio River or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Like
it was...
maybe 40 minutes from there.
Yeah. So, yes, it is a Kentucky one. So, if anybody is keeping track on the Control Freak videos, this was around-ish the same time as the diner.
Yeah.
Like, maybe about an hour-ish prior. 2 hours, maybe.
I don't know. What?
To the diner.
Where we were... The dogs that were running around the parking lot and
Oh
everything.
yes.
Oh,
Yes.
the guy that let his dogs out of the car.
The
Yeah,
dogs.
we were trying to do... Because we saw the 4 gas stations at the one stop.
It never fails with you guys. Like, there's
No,
always
because
some.
I know
we
you're
saw
talking
we saw that
something.
brand new Buc-ee's during the daylight.
It was a daylight. It was on the way
That's
home.
why I'm saying, like an hour or
Buc-ee's
2
was the-
hours
no,
south. I
that
thought.
was your...
Because the dogs was at night.
The dogs
man.
was a whole other leg.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't that night. The dogs were like...
The dogs
1 in the
were
morning.
the same night. The same night that we went and did McDonald's.
Correct.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, that wouldn't be... We saw the Buc-ee's, it was daylight, because I remember...
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
that was on
no,
our
yeah,
way home.
So the Buc-ee's
It was-
one was on the long haul. one.
yeah, it was on the.
The-
long
the-
haul.
it was Nashville to home.
Yeah, and that
Was
was.
that on the Nashville home one?
Yeah, we had stopped at the gas station across from.
No. I'm saying the
So the
dog
weird
part.
things that
Was
we
No,
dispute.
that was
Yeah,
the
so-
day
Go
before.
back
that.
to our lives. Tell us
Yeah,
when it was.
to give everybody the context, when you're in the same little, 100 square foot cubicle.
The dogs would have been Thursday night
Yeah,
Was that Thursday night?
yeah.
when we made the little run from Austin
Up to Dallas?
up to Dallas.
Okay.
yeah.
Because then Friday was the long run
To Nashville.
to Nashville.
Correct.
And it was not an evening. And then Saturday on the way home is when we had Buc-ee's that was being built.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's
And it
right,
was-
yes.
and I-
because we ended up going to
it
the
was the-
Speedway down
Right,
the road.
yeah.
right.
It was the
across.
Kentucky
Yeah, because
border.
we kept on saying like all these gas
You're gonna
stations
close.
right here.
And you're gonna close.
You're gonna be gone. You're gonna be gone.
And
Buc-ee's
you're going
is
to be
taking-
okay because you have like a grocery store affiliation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes.
Let's see, Monday.
So this is where we're kind of telling you we're multiple weeks already removed from the tour, and this is why we're trying to do it now, because if we did this in real time of like the month that this episode's going to get released, we would remember a quarter at best
Yeah.
of what happened on this tour.
So okay, so
but we hit Austin
Mhm.
on Monday
Monday night.
Monday night.
we had the Mountain Dew.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we had the hard Mountain Dew.
hung out and drank a little bit before we passed out that evening.
Yes, that was the largest room.
Yeah.
I think no.
Yeah, I would say it
Pretty
was
good
the
size.
largest.
If
room.
not the largest room, the
'Cause-
second largest room, because the last one that we
Second
had, the
largest room.
extended stay.
The
Yeah.
extended stay was
Yeah.
pretty large
Gorgeous.
as well. But
So
it worked out well that was, if not the largest, the second largest, and minutely different.
Since we were there for 3 nights.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was kind of our home for
3
multiple
days.
days.
Home base.
And again, that particular, because the lady at the desk had asked, I would highly recommend that Comfort Inn out there. I thought they did a fabulous
Comfort
job.
Suite. So-
Comfort Suite.
The staff was
Sorry.
cool.
Yeah,
they are
super
currently
cool.
halfway through the renovation, so they are updating everything. Make sure your light switches work.
Yes. Yes. there
Maybe
is
don't
that.
turn off your lights the way that I did by pinching them.
I was going to leave that out, but you
Um,
went ahead and threw it in there. That's
but
great.
it's fine. They were, I don't know if it was just a night auditor had a bad experience that night or what was going on,
Yeah.
but apparently they were trying to warn us of making sure of where to and not to park, so I appreciated that.
Yeah.
And yeah, overall though, the hotel was fairly clean. It was, fairly well run.
I
So
met-
there's a pool.
So
I
we
met
dropped-
some guys from New York there.
We
That
dropped
was-
trailer Tuesday,
yes.
and then we went in to scout. We went to Austin.
Yeah. So our A&R, John, the label owner, made it
John.
very clear to us and all of the bands attached to Curtain Call or Rock Rage in any way, shape, or form. Get into town, look for the venue that you're going to be playing at, scout the parking.
Yep.
Because whatever you think is going to work is not going to work if you don't know where you're going.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
get in there, check
So we
everything
pull
out.
up in front of WTF Whiskey Tango Foxtrot
Ice House.
which is the shirt I'm wearing right now. They're closed because it's still early in the day.
Yes.
We decided to start walking towards the second venue
Mhm.
to see if our parking can be like some sort of middle ground. Because we're thinking we're either going to unload and have to go park, or we're going to unload and have to dump the trailer somewhere.
Yes, because keep in mind the majority of the parking around here, there are parking garages, but not that are conducive to taller vehicles. The majority of the parking that things like us are going to have the option are all street parking.
So we
So-
were looking for either that, or we did find a parking garage. That was
We thought we did.
really nice garage.
Yeah.
And we felt really safe and secure because as we're 5 random dudes walking through a parking garage, security came out to check on us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we're just looking for a place to
We
park.
flag suspicion.
We're here for South by. We're going to be parking tomorrow while we're performing just down the street. Yada yada yada.
And he didn't say anything about
And
it.
he didn't connect the dots, and we'll fill the rest of
yeah,
that
we'll,
in.
we'll
here
get
in a
to that
minute.
on Thursday here.
But we walked around, and then there was a restaurant bar just down the road from WTF.
yeah, so Chris and I, while we were walking back to WTF, we both saw it and we were like, that looks like a cool vibe. It was a full outdoor, like patioed restaurant. The bar had some
tacos
coverage.
were there.
Yeah,
There's
the
the
tacos were
tacos.
there. The nachos were filling, and it was a good portion. I had bubble guts like nobody's business because of those nachos. But
Because of the chili on them.
yeah,
But Chad and I about got in a fight with the bartender.
Yeah, so-
No, not really, but
Not really.
he
I mean-
kind of wanted to fight us for no reason at all.
Yeah.
So I get it. So for anybody who's never experienced Austin like I hadn't prior to this, we bumped into a couple locals down there that we got to actually have some good chit chat with later on that night. But we kind of got the schooling of the lay of the land down there. And for everybody that has never been there, if
Just
you've maybe
traveling
been
in.
to the French Quarter, or if you've ever been to Nashville for the Main Street stretch and everything, 6th Street in Austin is your stretch. That is where all of the bars are at, and all of the bars have multiple floors with multiple stages, and it is crazy loud and bright and busy every night, especially when we were leaving Thursday night.
Yes.
It was chaos there.
Yeah.
But
You're going to get
I get from where this bartender's mentality was at. He's on 6th Street. He's used to having to deal with rowdiness and chaos, and he's ready to
And Chad,
go
the most
at a hair
pacifistic
trigger.
one in the group.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt.
Chad, can I not make a scene and we talk down there about the dispute and everything?
So
we're going to talk
He
here.
pre-auth our cards, and Chad says, "I was like, why am I being charged $45
Yeah.
and then another 27 or something?"
It was like $47.
And we were
all
trying to
in
figure
total.
out- so we were
then the price
trying to
of
talk it out,
foods.
and then we went up to get our food, and we're still talking about it. The guy's like, "Yo, if you guys got a problem, I'm right here. You can just take it up with me." I'm like, "We don't have a problem. We're
Just
trying to
trying to
just talk
clarify.
Just
through a
trying
situation."
to understand what's
like-
happening with our money.
Because if you want us to have a problem, we could. But we're
Yeah.
just talking like normal
it's
adults.
not a problem to have a
Yeah,
problem.
I tried getting this guy down on the side of the bar where there was nobody there, so I could figure out, how these charges were. Because, like, I originally was going to put it on my credit card, which I knew I had enough to cover what I was going to be purchasing.
I think, long story short, he was just doing a shitty ass job of explaining it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
really
I
think
think-
that's what it was.
Yeah,
and then
it was.
then he-
That and he was trying to put the three of our
he took all
meals
three of us at once
together.
because we not only were the five of us walking in at once, but while we're him hauling and ordering, like another group comes up. So he probably felt a lot of like, I got to hurry up and get these orders taken. So
Right.
he takes all of our orders at once, saying, "Oh yeah, I'll get them split out." He never split them out right.
Mm-mm.
We don't
No.
think he did.
No, he didn't. I end up paying for some tacos. I don't know.
It makes me wonder if
But that goes the other way around, man. Like, if you want to pre-authorize and not get scammed, you got to make sure your patrons aren't trying to get scammed either. Because if you're
Right.
just ringing in willy-nilly tacos on somebody's tab,
yeah.
I'm not going to pay for somebody else's tacos.
Hello.
Then I threw you some money, didn't I? I don't remember.
I don't know who. I don't
I
know
remember
whose
now.
stuff it was.
Gosh,
but
that's so
anyways.
long ago.
I know that I got
I
charged.
do know
for
the dreamsicle
tacos
was
and the
$12.
drinks.
The
yeah,
drink,
yeah.
the drink costs more than
cocktail
my
was
food.
$12.
Yeah,
And-
so
and
Chad
I-
paid $47 for onion rings and a corn dog.
Yeah, a
Yeah,
foot long
it's
corn dog
Ridiculous.
and a cocktail.
Did that ever bounce back? Well,
Yeah,
and I
I
ended
did
up
get the credit
part of the
back.
pre-auth.
and,
yeah.
and it did take a while. I had multiple credits hit my card,
And
too,
here's
that
the
I had
thing,
to keep
like
track of
I
for
wasn't.
everything.
It was like because even after tip, I reached that like $40 mark.
Mhm.
Right.
But it was like I thought he said there was a $25 hold charge, and I'm getting charged
So
$47.
yeah, he wasn't explaining it very well.
Either
So-
way, I get it though from the vantage of if this is your rowdy street and you're used
Yeah,
to
yeah,
a
yeah.
whole bunch of idiots always being there,
Still a level of
that
customer service.
you're ready to always just be there, aggressive and everything,
Even at 3 in the
that's
afternoon.
that's your your default.
So we went back to the hotel. I planned on getting a nap, but then we were no.
Yeah. So
Was this
that
the
that
same
would
night?
it wasn't
No,
that
this
night.
was that was the same day. So
No,
you-
that was after our show. Remember, because we had an AM show. We were gonna go back to the hotel.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
No, we opted
skipping
after
a
that.
day.
We didn't
Yeah.
actually
We went
opt
to
to
the
go back. We went to
Cidercade.
the cider cake.
Yeah,
Cidercade.
Cidercade was that night. So and that's where we got to see the drone show.
Yes.
So-
Yeah.
my
So
Tuesday
anybody
was
who
mixed up.
follows our TikTok, they got to see pretty much
drone
the entire
show.
drone
Yeah.
show on our TikTok.
At least what of it we recorded.
I think it was
I
like
recorded.
the whole thing.
Because it was the moment of realizing that it was up there. It's like,
Yeah, I
hey,
think
look,
I.
Well,
I was
besides
like,
the
Jeff,
beginning.
look at those lights. It looks like a drone show.
Yeah, and I'm
I
like,
think
there's
I
no
missed
way.
the
And then it
initial
started.
launch. Yeah, I think I missed the initial launch and the landing.
So
So
our-
beyond that, I got the whole.
Our
thing.
off
That's
day
awesome.
was literally playing video games and drinking ciders on
Dude.
the
Oh, and
Colorado River.
Yeah.
I love the bartender there because it's like, give him my card information, and I go out for my second one, and he's referring to me as Mr. Arms, and I'm like, dude, the fact that you remember me, and it's like, Steve was talking to him about the band, but didn't have a business card, so I hunt down
Correct.
Chris. I get a business card, and I take it to the bartender. I'm like, hey, my guitarist said that he was talking to you about the band. He's like, I should have known Mr. Arms was in this band.
The part that sucked, I found a cider I really, really liked.
Oh, I did
They
too.
had carryouts. That was one of the flavors. They did not have
Yeah,
a
so it
carryout.
was,
The guy's like,
good.
you could get a growler, and I'm like, and it ain't gonna do me a damn bit good because I ain't gonna ever refill it.
Yep. Right.
Yeah, so the
I have
Cidercade
two
had their own
left out of
ciders.
my 6-pack. That I
Yeah,
took home.
every cider they had was their own house made
Yeah.
cider.
It was nice being able to play. So we got there early enough that it was all ages, but like 9 p.m. they kicked all the little ones out,
Yeah.
so it became adults only. It was nice being able to play some of the old video games that we played when
Oh,
we
it
were
was
kids.
amazing.
I remember bouncing around. Bob was just ecstatic to be able to play X-Men on arcade.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
So-
I was on the patio the whole time.
I went and I played pinball.
Yeah.
I beat my score in Jurassic Park, so I'm proud of myself.
I'm
there.
sitting there. I'm playing because they had a Guitar Hero, a couple of Guitar
Oh,
Hero
yeah.
machines. I think Jeff walked up as I was playing. He's like, "Don't you do this enough already?"
I was like, isn't this like
This is your
Inception?
job.
Because it was unlimited gameplay, I finally got to beat Altered Beast.
Altered Beast. Yeah, I walked up.
I
while
never
you were
made it
playing.
past the third level because it's a hard game, and I'm
There
like,
were several games that
continue,
I went
baby.
to that
Yeah,
the
like
control-
the ultimate continue. That was the
the
part.
controls were really bad. Some of the buttons not working.
well, I mean,
properly.
all
I
these
mean,
were
right as we-
original machines.
so Steve doesn't do anything but go outside and chill and have cider.
Yeah.
And then
So,
at
yeah,
the very, very, very end of the night, we're all teasing him for not getting in there and enjoying a game. And after the last bathroom break, where's
Yeah.
Steve? Where'd Steve go?
He
Where'd
went.
Steve go?
When he
Did
played
go
a
back
video
inside?
game.
I did one round of skee ball.
After
He did
admitting,
one round of
after
skee ball.
admitting
And
that
Chris
skee ball
Easy
was his
goes,
favorite game. Yeah, after admitting the skee ball was his favorite game, I said, dude, they've got a couple skee ball lanes in there.
Yeah.
And so we're leaving, and everybody does the last minute bathroom, and then Steve's missing. I get to the car, and I'm like, "Where's Dad? Where's Steve? What's going on?" I'm like, "I think he's inside." I'm like, "What's he doing?"
Skee ball.
But I literally left it at one round and everything. But I will say, I think it was it only Bob? I feel like not Chris, but I feel like you came and checked on me. You may
I
also wondered why I wasn't going in.
I hung
I
out.
got like multiple levels of concern of why I was only sitting
Oh,
on the
I
deck.
knew exactly why
Yeah,
you were
I
only
knew
on
you
the
weren't a
patio.
gamer.
Yeah,
Once
because
they told me you were outside drinking, I was like, "Okay, he's in his element. He's
Yeah,
outside
because-
chilling."
so
And he
to
was
give
along
everybody-
the river.
It was a beautiful night. Out
yeah,
too,
so it was a
dude.
gorgeous night.
the weather was great.
The weather was great. The deck that they have directly overlooks the skyline
Oh,
of
and it was
Austin
right on
and
the river.
Colorado
It was a
River.
beautiful view.
Which
It was.
is now the third major river we've encountered: Missouri, Mississippi,
Yeah.
Colorado.
Yeah. So I'm just like, okay, cool. I got a deck. I got cider, and I got a table.
Steve's in his happy
where I
place.
can just be left the hell alone. So
All the kids are inside playing. Dad's outside enjoying his,
That's
enjoying his
exactly
beverage.
how it was.
I wasn't going to go there, but I mean, in all honesty, we all have that moment on every tour, and every band that tours has this.
And I
Yeah.
went
Where-
out to check on Steve occasionally. Make
I
sure
went
he
and
was
I
still
hung
doing
out with
good.
him. We had a long talk out there.
But I mean, honestly, though, and this is reality, and it happened. It happened at the Cidercade, where all of you guys had your own individual games that you were finding that you were attached to. I found my little spot of the deck, but every band has their spot where they're like, okay, we've been in a vehicle for the whole
Yeah,
time.
I
We've
don't
been on
wanna
stage
really
the
hang
whole
out
time.
with you."
We've been in the hotel the whole time.
Yeah.
I don't care where it's at. We need to find some place where I don't see you for at least a good solid 10 minutes.
Yeah, at least.
And it needs to not be where I'm on the shitter.
Right.
Like, go
So-
away.
Yeah.
So we went back to the hotel with that, right? We
Yeah.
didn't- I don't
Yeah.
think we did anything
So,
else.
real quick, before we leave the Cidercade, we ended up bumping. This is where I was saying we bumped into a couple locals that had actually been frequenting South by for years and years and years.
Which at this point we're still calling it South by Southwest, or
Yeah. So we got educated by the locals of the no.
It's just
It's
South
just
by.
South by. Nobody down here that's an actual Austin resident ever refers to it as South by Southwest. It is South by.
South by.
And we're like, all right, cool. Appreciate that. And they kind of give us a little bit of the lay of the land at 6th Street. They kind of give us an idea of what the festival used to be like, what it currently feels like now. One of the girls was friends with a few different musicians that were performing in the unofficials. She said that that one person in particular, she's like, I don't go to any of the officials anymore. I exclusively do all the
Only unofficials, yeah.
because the unofficials are much more in line with what the officials used to be like.
Right.
So overall, though, just meeting those two girls and kind of getting to pick their brain of what Austin is, what South by is, and all that was really helpful for me. I felt a lot more
Also,
understanding of
I
it.
want to give a shout out to Taylor Fredericks, who was also playing.
Yes.
Yeah, at
Oh,
South
sorry,
by.
we
We were
local
supposed to come out to try to
Oh, yeah.
catch your show, but we well, I would say unfortunately, but something
that would
happened.
be Wednesday night.
That
That
was
was
something.
Wednesday night.
Something happened that particular night that kind of took our attention, and I know that you played a fabulous set. So,
Yeah, and
the
if you want,
next
if
time
you were on
we're
a real
around,
system tribute, bring me down.
we will definitely
Sorry, no
come
disrespect
check.
to the
Man,
other band.
that
That's
is
just
some
messy.
words
out.
there, bud. So,
I really wanted to check them out. Just
Yeah, I
to-
mean,
I would have been
wanna see
cool.
what's going on.
as cool as it would have been to check them out,
What we
F
did
you
instead.
if you think that I was going to give up the opportunity we had to go see a band.
What
Right,
we
so
did instead was
Wednesday. Let's see. Jeez.
So Wednesday we
was an
roll
early.
in
Early. And if you're
the earliest show I have ever played.
yeah, it's like
No.
10, 11
Pipe stem.
o'clock. Oh no, yeah, yeah, because we hit stage at 8 something.
No,
Yeah.
11.
Well, we hit
Yeah.
stage to set up at 8 something.
Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah.
How did you
PTSD
forget?
here, homie.
Pipe stem.
Glaze.
Steve slept through that one.
Hey, can you guys go ahead and just get up and come here and set up 3 hours early? Come on, I know you're just the opener.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, yes, beyond PTSD, full sleep deprivation.
But I think WTF we were supposed to play at 2.
Yeah, we were supposed
yeah,
to.
it was like a 1:45, 2 o'clock, somewhere in that ballpark.
But unfortunately, the logistics was not awesome with a lot of other bands, and they were running behind. Some were dropping off because apparently there were things going on with South by. I don't know all the details.
Either way, it
just
turned
logistics.
into, and yes, it sucked for us. I will give a shout out. It sucked horribly for Craven.
Yeah.
Craven, the
Yeah.
lead singer for Edge Destiny, she was running, if you will, kind of the
Rock.
the tour manager, if you will,
Yeah.
Stage manager.
for
Rock Rage Radio and
on behalf of Rock Rage for most of these
Yeah.
showcases.
Yeah.
So she's getting notifications left and right of, hey, this band's playing this showcase and it's running over, so they can't be there at this time.
Yeah, so we're
This one's
talking
on the
like
road.
bands that were booked like at 2 o'clock at one venue, maybe booked at 6 o'clock at the next venue, which is great if everything's running on time and traffic
Yeah,
is
if
smooth
everything's
and
smooth.
everybody's done their
Yeah.
homework and is prepared.
But then you got sound guys that aren't showing up, or you got sound guys that are rolling a blunt
while you're trying to play.
sound check and not turning on all of your channels, and
Yeah.
you're running samples,
And then it
nobody
shuts
but
off
you
the,
hears it.
Shuts off the mains and runs only monitors, even though you have in ears.
Yeah,
I
so
thought that was pretty interesting.
I will say this: I dug the vibe of WTF.
Yes.
Yeah.
The staff
was cool.
was cool.
Oh, the bartenders are all jamming with
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
as
They're
soon
jamming
as
with all
my
the
guitar
bands.
was turned on,
Yeah, as soon as we
As soon as-
finally
and then
Got
I will
sound.
say I did see the sound guy and the door guy after sound got fixed.
What?
They
As
were
soon as your
jamming
guitar was
to it
turned
as
on,
well.
and then so
As soon as your guitar was turned on?
I just edited the video from WTF. My guitar is not coming through at all
Probably a good thing.
for the first 45 seconds of the first song.
Oh,
Yeah, that's. I was wondering about
Before
that.
anything happened, when everything was still
Well, I don't know.
intact.
What happened, Steve?
So I can say that I have a short list. I have
I want to
maybe
stop this
5
guy
shows.
for a minute. Okay, I'm only busting his chops because out of every single piece of gear I own and have to carry for any show, much less a tour, I forgot a throne for one show.
Yes, yes.
One show, not even a run,
Yeah.
but one show.
And I
this
still,
guy,
I
Go
still
ahead, Steve.
make jokes
Go
about
ahead,
the
Steve, what
throne
happened?
being the most important piece of equipment.
Day one of South by.
Because I
So-
love the trailer, so I'm like, got to make sure that the most important piece is here.
So we're on stage.
And Steve
this
forgot
is
the-
already, by the way,
Steve
I'm already
forgot the KY.
frustrated.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm already frustrated, though, because we got a sound guy where I'm like trying to expedite this. He's literally crying at me about the idea that I'm giving him tails. He's like, well, why didn't you go first? I'm like, because I gave you a stage plot.
Yeah.
And you already
Stage
knew
plot.
that this was going to happen.
Well, and then we found out that wasn't our original sound guy after the fact.
Yeah. But I'm like,
But
either
still,
way,
you're a sound guy.
yeah,
Like,
I'm handing you tails. Figure it out.
yeah, dealing
And
with it.
so I'm already kind of in the wrong headspace
Steve,
for this.
So Steve takes it out on his guitar.
So
That's what it was, actually. probably.
we're sending him signals for everything. Like, no. All right, here's keys, here's vocal, here's guitar. We're going through a fast sound check. We're pretty much doing a line check. We're
yeah,
not
and
trying
then
to sound check.
line check and go.
And we're the
We're-
second band on?
Yeah, we're second band on. Everything's already kind of running a little behind because of the logistics of everything. And
Right.
it's, everybody
Around 11.
involved. Craven, 24 Thorns that was
Yeah.
on before us. It's not on any of them at this point. Everything's just kind of a trying to get your feet
Amalgamation
underneath
of
you at
issues,
this
yeah.
point.
Mhm.
And so I'm like, all right, cool. I'm trying to keep to our itinerary. There is an itinerary that is actually taped up to the reference monitor saying when everybody is supposed to have their start and stop time, we have an actual clock down to the second that's staring at us that we're all able to reference. I'm like, all right, cool. We have a hard start time. We have a hard dead time. And so I'm like, all right, we are at line check mode now. We're not even at sound check. We're just at line check. So we're all just trying to shoot over a signal as fast as possible. I had shot a sampler signal over to him. He said, gotcha. So I took that as the channel was still hot. Not that he killed the channel directly after saying, I gotcha. So I immediately go into our intro. We, as Jeff said, have in-ears. So we're all jamming out. We're all vibing the intro.
And there's nothing
and
coming through.
And I pop my ear.
And it's silent.
And the house PA is still blaring the Muzak channel.
Yeah.
Muzak.
And I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And so you can hear in the video without
angry.
me on the mic screaming at the sound guy, we have a sample going. What?
Steve gets angry.
Sample is going. Still doesn't actually turn on anything, so the sample gets completely missed. You've already turned on click, so we're in. And I immediately start the riff, and according to the video, that's still not hot either. My guitar is still muted. He had us muted across the whole board and was only playing the background music.
Yep.
For the first at least
I want to see this
30
video.
to 45 seconds of the first song.
Yep.
So
I'm
Steve's
frustrated.
Steve's mad.
I'm frustrated. So what happens second song, which is Control Yourself, which is
Steve did not
predominantly
control
on the
himself.
low E string with a lot of hard bends. I go in and I pop
When it
the
breaks
string.
It breaks the string right there.
And so I immediately get in my head of, okay, I need to transpose everything. I need to adjust keys. What can I do on the fly to try to make this work? We're quote-unquote professionals. We can't stop. Okay, let's go. And keep in mind, in a normal show, you can kind of have your, like, oh, crap, string broke, get through this song, change the string, grab another guitar, something. This is South by. This is supposed to be one of the most stringent, like, time-sensitive sets of the, you start now, you end now. There's no
Because
dead
as we
time.
said,
everything that has
it's
been
just-
advertised to us about this has been you bring your A game, you make sure that you're on point, because like if you're not on point, they'll just cut the power on you and push you off the stage. That
like,
kind of
that
stuff.
level of stuff. So I'm like, all right, I just have to make this work. And so there's no stopping. There's no changing a string. The guys from 24 Thorns, awesome guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Immediately run
Thank you,
up
Lucifer.
during it, and they're like, do you need a guitar? And I'm like, yes. So
Please.
their guitarist runs over, grabs his, and he hands it to me. But I'm already not in the right mindset to really take this information. He hands it to me. We play in drop C. He goes, this is in drop C sharp. And I'm like, cool. And I throw it on. I go to pull my wireless out. Luckily, it didn't end up actually breaking. I had to buy a new cable because I tugged on it so hard that I actually completely unwound the entire spring
Oh.
Oh, no.
that's actually supporting the cable. So I had tugged it out so hard and threw it on and everything that it was like, okay, please work, please work, please work. So I plug it in, though, but because it's not in my standard tuning, I then start to try to tune it. I'm like, wait, I don't have time to try to tune this. So I have my drop pedal, but then I have to recalibrate in my head.
Yeah.
I have to be in this in my guitar, but now that he's in drop C sharp, where do I actually have to land with everything? So I'm transposing
Good
everything
Lord.
on the fly,
Hashtag tour wife.
trying to muscle through this set. So all of a sudden, we technically have one more song that's slotted on our set, but because things were running behind, I look at the clock, and I see that our hard dead time is like
Right now.
a minute and 10 seconds or so away.
Right.
And we're like, do we be those guys with a 3-minute song run 2 over, or with the fact that I'm playing on a guitar that's not mine.
Right.
This has already been a situation where Jeff's power surged.
Yeah, so
3 different times.
3 different times. So I'm
Jeff
thinking
has an issue. Bob had his vocals completely dropped because we have dirty power.
I'm thinking.
what you're talking about.
I look around to the back, and there is this power conditioner. It looked like a power conditioner. Apparently, it wasn't a power.
It was a
conditioner.
power strip.
It was just a power strip. So I go and I plug in, and every time he hit a low bass note, every time my
That's
keyboard went black.
That's a lot in that set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So every time, like, my display just goes black, and I'm like, what?
Okay.
And it dawned on
Yeah.
me at the end, like, the last song, I'm like, what keeps happening? And you go, bong. And I'm like,
Trust in the process alone. The chorus is nothing but big,
l-
wide open.
Big, wide open. Yeah. And
Yep.
so every time, I'm like going, okay.
The only
is it
thing
gonna
wonky
cut
for me for
myself
that
out?
show was right before we played, I was approached to be like, oh, by the way, the band after you was told that there's backlining because I guess in the past they have backline drums, but they didn't bring drums. Can they
Not
use
only
your
did they
kit?
not bring drums, what else didn't they bring?
I was told they didn't bring drumsticks.
Oh, that was so funny because like one of the band members came up to me. He's like, "Oh, you guys got drumsticks? Can I buy drumsticks?" So I sold them drumsticks at our tour merch price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he bought a 20. It's not bad, $20 a pair.
Yeah.
So after we got done playing, instead of
Convenience
hurrying
fee.
up and tearing off stage, because I pre-mic'd my kit for this exact reason,
Yeah.
my brain goes, oh, shoot, I got to leave some of the stuff for him. What do I need to leave? So I left the whole kit, and then I realized that they need to patch, like, our stuff's patched through for
Yep.
years.
Yeah.
So now I'm hurry up trying to crank out, like, all of my mic
all the
cables.
microphones.
And then I'm putting some stuff away, and I realized the guy actually brought cymbals. So now I'm looking at him like trying to take my cymbals. I was like, I thought you were backlining. He's like, oh, I got my own cymbals. So I run back up there and I start grabbing all my cymbals off the stands and then taking those off.
So
That was it.
So Chris was dealing
my
with
story.
all the chaos in the post show. I'm dealing with all of it during show.
Yeah, same.
Jeff's dealing with all of it during show. Bob apparently, because we had the dirty power, his mic had dropped a few different times.
Yeah,
all of
I
a sudden,
did hear it
one of the
drop out a couple
24
times.
foreign guys runs up and hands him different batteries.
Another
Yeah.
positive from the
Yeah.
night, we got to meet Woz of Oz.
Yes.
We got
Yes.
to see their set.
Yeah, they were
There's one
fabulous.
of two because we did see them the next night.
Absolutely love the guys.
And we're
They're
bringing
fun.
them up July 6th, but they're also gracious to host us 420 at Crossville, Tennessee. Is with us every 420?
No, so we'll have already had the show,
Wah,
and it
wah.
was awesome.
It was awesome.
It was
awesome.
amazing. We love you guys.
All right, so
And we also
WTF was a learning curve.
We gave a shout out to Craven, but we also
Yes.
got to give a shout out to Dawn
Yes,
from
Dawn.
Rock Goddess.
Yeah, Dawn
Yeah.
Dyer. So the Rock Goddess on Rock Rage Radio. She was quote unquote our handler for that show and
Yeah.
everything. Love her to death. She's awesome people. Thank you for
She's
being
pretty
out
cool.
there.
Yeah.
And
Had wonderful
Shirt.
talks with
We
you.
got her a
buddy.
shirt.
yeah, we
Yeah,
got
we
her
got
a
her
shirt.
shirt.
She's already done the shout out on her socials
Nice.
with our shirt and everything.
Love you,
Thanking us for
Dawn.
everything.
You're
Thank you, Dawn.
amazing.
But yeah, so WTF, and I even told John this one. I was like, I'm glad we did it, but it easily for me, out of all the things that can go wrong, it's in the top 5.
yeah,
I think it was
of
the worst
all
show.
I feel like
time.
it was
Yeah.
the first show for every band on that. So it was just like getting
Yeah.
through all the, like, all right, let's just,
The Kinks.
yeah, basically.
And
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just
Better word.
glad, like we had talked about on Thursday, I'm just so glad that it was such an early slot. That it was all right, the amount of people that were even on the streets to
Right.
hear that was so minimal.
Yeah.
So then we left there.
That was cool though, like because from the stage I could see the entrance from the street, and there were people that were stopping to look in and watch as we were
Well-
performing, and that was actually really cool.
And-
it was
and
such
to-
a highlight of
I don't
that.
think there were any bands in our general area at that point, at that time of day.
Yeah,
No,
no.
no,
we were
it
the
was.
only
So we
ones
were the only
making
live
the
music.
noise. Yeah.
Outside anyway.
The other cool part about that, though, was this whole venue, kind of like where we stopped to eat food, this was an entirely outdoor
Yeah.
venue. The
With
only
a
thing
tent.
they
With
had
awnings.
a tent, they had a few like awnings going over some of the equipment area, but
Yeah, but
well, like
it
where
was
we
a
positioned our
air.
merch was like inside of garages.
and they had
Yes.
bubbles. They had
They
bubbles.
had
Oh, they had
bubbles.
a bubble machine for the sidewalk.
Chris almost ate some bubbles. So the one thing that I will say though with that tent, and I get it because it's need to be waterproof, but my God, there's no airflow either under that. Man, I've been in some indoor venues with can lights, and it was pretty comparable to 11 o'clock in the afternoon when we first rolled in, and trying to just be on that stage. There was no airflow. It was stuffy.
Humidity that day was
Reason number
incredibly
48
high.
why.
But for how crappy our day performance was, how great was our evening?
So
This is true.
That's
the
a segue.
night
Is that
made
the
up
segue?
for the day.
Is that a segue for part 2? I don't know.
Yeah.
Tenfold. So
Are you
I mean,
kidding me?
we're
I think
easily
we're on
making this a
part 3 of
two-parter
this.
Oh,
episode.
we are.
pretty
We're
much.
way past that.
Easily.
Yeah, we're well past
I don't
the.
even
This
know
is a
when we
two-parter
started.
episode. So because I've already had to change batteries. So the reality though is Monday night, I cannot express enough of how much that made up for how shitty
Yeah, I'm
of
gonna
a
let
day
Wednesday night?
them talk about
Wednesday
it.
afternoon was.
So yeah, so we left WTF. We were going to. I was going to catch some Z's because at this point, I'm struggling to get some sleep, and logistically, we just didn't. So
Yeah.
this is the night we were debating, like, what do we want to do tonight? Like later in the evening, are we going to catch the Taylor Frederick show? We're going to, because come to find out, that was only 10 minutes from our hotel.
Right.
Steve wanted to go to this distillery, which I struggle with the name of the distillery.
Crowded Barrel.
Crowded Barrel.
Crowded Barrel, which is he's seen on YouTube. If you don't know, Steve's our aficionado
Of the whiskeys.
of the whiskeys. This guy, we made a new friend.
We did. We made a great
So
Oh, is this another spot for tacos? This is another spot for
Yes,
tacos.
this was the taco truck.
this was the taco spot that Jeff is about.
Oh, dude, no, seriously. I had the lengua tacos from there.
So there's again, there's more live video because we ended up going after we ate and talked to. I'm
Yes.
skipping a little bit, but
Yeah, so
if
This
you want
was
to know,
the bartender that goaded me into a tequila or jalapeno infused tequila.
So to give everybody a little bit deeper context,
That's so
so
beautiful.
if you are a user of YouTube whatsoever, and you're into spirits at all, the Whiskey Tribe and the Whiskey Vault are the two channels that are based out of this complex because it's technically a non-for-profit school on the property, as well as a distillery and a tasting room, a food truck trailer type thing. There's a multitude of things, including a wedding chapel on this
that
property and
chapel was
everything.
gorgeous.
And so I really, really I've been following the channels for years, been really big fans of the channel. I have had a few of their different whiskeys that I've bought, had mailed to my house that I really liked, and as well as their vodka. So I was like, all right, I don't know of another time I'm going to be this close because technically they're based in Austin. They're right at the borderline of one of the outskirt burb towns type thing. But I look at Chris
about a 30-minute drive.
yeah. So I look at Chris and I go, look, they're technically a 7 o'clock close on the tasting room. We're done at, especially now because we had to play even earlier than what we were planning. I'm like, we're in a situation where we can go there. There's nothing else on my list of.
And I wanted to make sure it happened for him.
Well,
not knowing what was going to unfold,
well, yeah.
but really only because.
But
I like
beyond
whiskey.
that, I'm like, okay, I've drug you to enough breweries. I'm giving you, the guy who doesn't do beer, finally an opportunity. I'm like, I have a distillery
Now it's time
that
for
I want to go
whiskey.
to. This is finally someplace that will actually be
I can have a
beneficial
real, I can have
for
a real
Chris.
beverage.
Yeah.
It's time for a real
Chris
drink.
can go get whatever he
And
wants.
I had
It
a
can
coffee
be-
whiskey.
Yeah,
I'm a real man.
He got something that he would never get. Coffee. So, but
Hey, I did the same drink, and
no,
I don't
actually,
I don't even.
you're
like
the one who
whiskey.
killed off the coffee too. No, the cream. Either way,
I killed the cream.
yeah, you killed that cream. But so we walk in, or I should say this: we drive up to the property. Cool ass,
Oh,
just
it
approach
was
to the property
amazing.
and everything. We see
It's got this
a sign
Illuminati
for the
feel.
Wizards Academy, which
The
is
whole
a
thing had an
not-for-profit
Illuminati feel to it.
yeah, it was definitely
We joined the whiskey
Like
Illuminati.
sacred grounds.
Yes,
like,
very much so.
hallowed.
So we walk into the tasting room, though, which is called Feather and Fang.
Yeah, the feathers.
So we walk into that. I won't lie, from all the YouTube videos I've watched, I know they didn't have any pre-existing expectations. Much smaller building than I expected it to be. Very good job on the very wide
it's
angle
all about
lenses.
it's all about the angle. I was gonna say it's
Yeah.
all about the angle. Steve.
All about the angle. So we walk in, and we're immediately greeted by the bartender, who then informs us, look, I know that we close at 7, but last call's in 30 minutes because we didn't end up rolling in until about 6.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, cool. Let me look over the menus real quick, and let's do this. So there's 2 separate spots. There's I'll call it the whiskey tasting half of the bar.
Yeah.
And then there's the cocktail half of the bar.
Yeah, I did
And
cocktail.
we're hanging out more on the cocktail side of the bar. Now, keep in mind, the bartender, the reason you did not see him in the live video is because they do have a fairly prolific and well-followed YouTube channel.
Yeah.
They really, and all the bartenders and the staff are actual cast, if you will, on that YouTube channel. They really can't be included in somebody else's videos, per
Yeah.
se. So he goes, I'm cool with you shooting video for Chad.
For
But
me.
if you can please keep me out of frame.
I think,
So
I think I got his arm in there. But
yeah,
Yeah,
but
his hand was
that's
there.
whatever.
Yeah.
You didn't get the face. That was more the it was needed.
Jalapeno tequila.
Yep. So Chad gets. So we're all standing at the rail,
Nut up or shut up, bro.
and
I don't
our
even know how I
bartender.
got hit with this.
So
Yeah.
I'll tell you exactly how. So if anybody wants, it's perfectly fine that we share his name. Does anybody want to?
I don't remember.
I'm not off the top of my head.
I feel horrible now because I don't either. I was hoping one of you would. It's like,
Bail me out.
That was like 3 weeks ago, bro.
I mean, I want to say something like Justin or something like that, but I
No.
just can't remember.
I don't remember.
but
it. I don't want to lie
so
about
we're at the rail and Justin.
Justin. Let's just call him Justin.
So
I'm gonna
he
call him
looks
a
and
pain in
goes,
my ass.
all right. So who here is a fan of tequila? And none of us really raise our hand. A couple of us kind of mutter, "I'm okay with it."
Oh,
type
I
thing.
cringe to it.
And then the follow up. So who here is okay with like jalapenos and spiciness?
I still.
And then there's a couple of us kind of, I'm okay with it. And then his follow up, who's on board for some actual jalapeno tequila? And none of us raise our hand, but I make the statement of I'll try it type thing. And then Bob gets a little bit too overly eager of I'm game to try. And Chad, out of all of us,
Machismo.
is the most silent.
yeah.
And he
Yeah.
immediately, Justin goes, you.
Yeah. He's like, you're the one who's
And then
doing
Bob
this.
pipes up
You are
again.
the
He's
chosen.
like, well, no. I mean, I'm cool. He goes, no. I already found my mark.
Yeah.
You're too eager.
Chad became the
That was
chosen
his
one.
exact
oh, that's right. You're too eager.
He
No,
goes,
it's not
You're
you.
too eager. I already found my mark. And so Chad looks and goes, oh, no. And
Like I said,
so,
nut up or shut up, bro.
That's
So-
because I even made the comment like afterwards. I was like, I do not handle tequila well.
And so
He's like, oh,
Justin-
even better.
Yeah. And so Justin
Ugh.
Yeah.
looks at us and goes, so this was built specifically to go with a cocktail that has a very, very potent strawberry puree with it. So that way it balances everything. This was never designed nor intended to be consumed
as shooter.
directly.
Yeah, as a shooter.
It is not
Oh.
safe, and it shouldn't be done by a human to consume this directly. So are you ready? And so that's where the live video pretty much starts, is
Going over.
Chad going,
And what was so good about that was he kept his composure
Oh, dude, I was
all the way up,
Until-
all the way
all
to,
the
like,
way up
cut
until
video.
he.
cuts video.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, he's not gonna crack, and I cut videos like, I'm like,
Son of a.
all the cringe. Like, no, I did have a
I missed
reaction
the
with,
money shot.
like how spicy that was.
Your head almost immediately started.
Oh, yeah,
Holy
but you didn't
crap.
have the-
like the heat from that
Yeah.
jalapeno
you had commented on
was
that.
like
Chase.
intense. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yep.
what the? I thought this was just like a simple
Didn't it have, like, a
infusion
tint
of
of green to
flavor.
it?
Right.
But it was
Did it
like
have what?
A tint of green.
Yeah,
to
it was.
No.
Oh,
It was like a
it
hue
had
of
like
yellow
a
green.
I don't know.
hue
I
of-
was sitting on the side just laughing.
but like the
Yeah.
heat of this, I was not expecting. I was expecting flavor, but the heat of this kicked in.
And
I'm
the-
like,
I did not
whoa.
expect a vegetable with the way he was describing it.
Oh my! And then as soon as the camera's done, is when my true cringe for tequila.
So
happened.
Then
Our
after
irony is
that-
he didn't even know that I cut video, and that's when he brought. I was like,
no, yeah, he. So the bartender ends up. Then again, I like later on. So we immediately proved our worth, if you will, that we were a fun hang.
Oh,
so he
thanked me multiple times for being a
He
good
was-
he
sport. on
was
that.
Yeah.
just having a blast with us, if you will. And then we all were like, okay, we need food. Everything's shutting down at 7. The food truck's
Yeah.
going to be also shutting down.
Oh, the
So we got
tacos.
some food ordered and everything.
The
The rest of the guys were
tacos,
hanging out.
yes.
I went back in because I wanted to make sure, because I had some merch. I had some bottles I wanted to buy, and I wanted to make sure that with it being a 6:30 last call,
Right, that you
that
still
I wasn't going to
could.
be cut off from buying the stuff I
And
wanted.
then you and Bob went back in there to grab Bob a bottle.
Well,
of stuff.
before that, though, so I had ordered my flight
Yeah,
of different
yeah,
whiskeys.
that's right.
I would have got the
I-
flight, but he pretty much said, no, if you have this drink, you can't have the flight.
Yeah,
Like,
so
Yeah.
because of that, that's where I was like, all right, so I'm going to get a flight. But he made it clear, he goes, you can't order the two things at once. However, if you finish all of that off before the last call, you'll be allowed to. But keep in mind, this at this point in time is like 10 after 6.
Right.
And he then immediately looks at me and goes, but if you kill off that flight before 6:30, I think we need to have a different conversation other than what your next drink order is supposed to be. And I'm like, or you don't worry about it and you just take my damn drink order.
well, the potency of those.
Yeah, the
whiskeys.
lowest proof that I had on my flight was 110 proof.
Yeah, 110.
And it
So
got
that was-
all the
I
way
think
up
that
to
was
like
his-
140 proof.
Yeah.
That was his real concern, was making sure you could handle it, because they probably get some hoity-toity people up there. They're like,
Yes.
oh, I see you on YouTube. I want to go check you out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to try that whiskey. Oh, that was, yeah, type thing. And I'm like, okay, let's do this. So I kill off my whole flight. It's 6:35, and I'm like, it's technically after. Can I? He goes, yeah, it's not a hard and fast rule. It's just kind of an easier. We hold it at 6:30. I'm like, all right, cool. And he goes, what do you want? And I was like, I'll just do a mojito. He goes, about that. Just like the coffee that's out of cream, I'm out of mint. And I'm like, well, that's pretty freaking crucial for a mojito.
Yeah, yeah.
He goes, all right, I'll just make you an old fashioned.
That's right. You did have an old
And I'm like,
yeah.
I forgot
okay,
about
and he
that.
it was
goes,
tasty.
and because I can't get you the drink that you want, consider this one on me. And I'm like, even better.
Yeah, dude.
Because I'm
Free
like,
drinks are the
at
best.
this point,
drinks.
I'm
They
like,
taste so
I
much
already
better.
know I'm going to be dropping hundreds.
Well, at this
of
point, the
dollars
guy is
in
also
merch.
equally entertained by us as we are. having
Oh,
a
yeah,
chat with him.
very
So-
much so.
My tequila shot was free.
Yeah,
Yeah.
your tequila shot was free. My old fashioned.
Again, that's because he wanted you to nut up or shut up.
Yeah.
He just wanted to see you squirm.
So-
Good time.
that was for his entertainment.
Yeah, but did you see how
100%.
fast he ran when I mentioned Malort?
yeah.
Oh, I know, that
he
was
didn't
funny.
run. He was going to be like,
He wanted to fight.
he's like, he did. He's like, you
like,
heathen.
He's like that Chicago handshake is.
Yeah. So while I'm in there though, ordering my my old fashioned,
Malort is not a
getting my
verb.
old fashioned, I should say. In regards to your jalapeno
You'll
tequila,
never
here's the
forget the
funny
Malort
part though.
night.
This is how, because remember, he said he took the shot, and remember how he didn't have a reaction. His response was, "Well, that's because I'm dead inside."
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
while I'm getting my old fashioned, he takes another swig the size of your shot
I know.
of the jalapeno tequila, and no flinch, no reaction. And I'm like, you are dead inside.
You are actually dead inside.
So I get the old fashioned, I bring it out to the guys, and we end up doing our food. Chris and I both ended up getting a burger that I don't think either of us thought had any right being as good
It was really
of a
good.
burger
All of
as
the
that
food.
Yeah.
food truck in the middle of Texas.
that food was
gonna be-
so good.
That was when he did Justin.
Yeah.
Justin.
Came back out and he was talking, and that's where your Malort comment. He's like, you said you were Malorted. He's like, that's not a verb.
That's not a verb.
Oh, he got on you so hard. He goes, "Malording isn't a thing. It's not a verb." All right.
It is around here.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you ain't been up north.
So we just kind of shot the breeze with them for a while. You ended up going back in.
Yeah, I
Bob
ended up
got a
going back
bottle.
in, buying my merch, and then on my flight, I had gotten a blackberry bourbon finished whiskey,
Yeah.
and
And
I
opted
fell in love with it. And Bob also fell in
Grabbed
love
it.
with it. And Bob, because he was at this point in time, he was. It's tour. Tour can be expensive for everybody's pocket, especially the way that we do it.
Yep.
He's like, I love that bottle, but I'm a little short on change. I'm like, I got you. Let's get back in there though, because if you're interested, they close in like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
There's
let's not be
no
those guys.
time to be like.
It took
well,
him like
maybe,
8
sorta.
minutes to figure out
Yeah,
whether
like,
or not he was
there's
going
no
to.
maybe, I don't know. We're not going to get this again. This isn't at Belmont. This isn't at any of our local
Right.
liquor stores. If you want it, now's the only opportunity.
So
to get
I
it.
remember when we first got in, there's like, you guys feel free to explore the property, even though we're closing at 7. Blah blah
Yep.
blah. So we're wrapping up. He goes inside. He's like, I got to close out. Great talking to you, because
Yep.
Yeah.
he really wanted to linger, but he's like, I gotta kind of do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I still got to wipe down,
So-
wash glasses, all that
It's
crap.
it's like a quarter after 7. It's getting to be dusk, and that's
Yeah.
when we left the chapel.
And we wanted
Yeah,
to watch
so
the sunset.
We just, we didn't even necessarily angle that we were definitely having to go for the chapel. We just were like, okay, here's the trails, because on this property, for the whole property, the not-for-profit, the distillery, all that, there is trails that wrap the whole thing that you can just, there's wilderness trails, there's paved
Because
ones
it's
and all
also
that.
a campus
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
for the Wizards.
So,
Yes.
so we,
Wizards Academy.
yeah, for the Wizards Academy. So we're like, all right, well, none of us are feeling extra adventurous. Let's go on the paved trail type
Right.
thing. So we head
Which
towards the
ended
chapel.
really
Yeah.
quick.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we end up heading towards the chapel, which is
Part of
this
my life.
Part of a
beautiful-
Facebook Live.
Yeah. It's a beautiful open air building that overlooks a gorgeous bluff.
Oh man.
And
I could have gotten lost.
I
I
will
did
say
get lost
this.
in that scene.
Yeah, I
They
will
have-
say this: as beautiful as that area was, and this is not just there. This is all of the areas of Texas that we were in.
And for anybody that saw the live, think that I was like needing to puke over the rail. No, I was admiring the view. Thank you.
He wanted to puke with how much love he felt from his bandmates at that moment.
That tequila did not hit me like that.
Oh, is that so?
No, that was too long after. For everybody
Yeah, it
that's
was too
aware,
long.
Yeah.
that was over an hour difference.
Yeah.
That's
so,
true, that's true.
But so we're out there, and as beautiful as that area was, I want to just say this: it wasn't just there. For me, all of Texas, at least at the time we were down there,
Aw.
man, that is
It
some
was-
smoggy, dirty air.
I thought he was going to be all like,
I thought he was going to say something
Texas.
sweet. I'm like, oh,
It's so beautiful.
No, it's
terrible.
smoggy.
I hate it.
I
It's dirty.
genuinely, and I can say, Chris and I both had this issue. We had a perpetual cough.
Yeah,
I
same.
had a scratchy throat. I had swollen sinuses. It did
It
not
took
matter
me like
if we
a
were
week
Yeah.
after we got home before I felt like I was
So I will
breathing
say
normal
from the
again.
Very much,
view
yeah.
from the view at the chapel, we saw that little outbuilding that had like the TP structure
Yes.
style
Yeah.
Did you
rooms
look
on
up
the
to see if it
outside.
was an Airbnb?
No, while I was researching the Wizard Academy, it actually had photos of that building too.
Oh, I'm wondering if that's like lodging for
I think it is.
students
I'm
or
thinking
something.
Yeah,
it's like
I think-
student lodging.
It very
So-
well could be.
I was live. We were just kind of cruising the chapel. We decided we still have some daylight.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're gonna try and explore the trail, which
The one that's
promptly
unbeaten.
ended.
Yeah.
But we saw some.
So we went wilderness trail
we saw
very
some
quick.
some statuettes and plaques and things to read there, and then we started hearing some noise, and we thought it was Justin coming up to
Yeah.
Yeah.
put chairs away.
Justin.
Yeah, I think it's just adopted. Your name is Justin. I
Yeah.
don't know
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah,
Justin.
because we're terrible
Ginger
with
Justin.
names.
So we're like, oh well, he's obviously coming up here to close
Don't
up.
worry, he'll lower your credit score.
He did say that.
I
a
will
couple
make
times.
you regret life.
I will
head
lower your
there.
credit
We
score.
head back down, and to use just word serendipity stepped in,
Yay, serendipity. I love you.
and we met Gordon.
Gordon, our new
That's,
friend.
a,
new friend.
that's
So-
a name I won't forget.
Oh, yeah.
So to give a little more context real quick, at the chapel, I don't know if they had a ceremony or they just do this every day just because
Get the
they had
chairs
all the
set up.
chairs fully set up there for a ceremony. I'm assuming it's because there was one earlier.
Well,
in the
there was
day.
also like tubes of bubbles, so there had to have been something.
Yeah, my
Yes.
guess is that it was.
So
earlier
this
that
is an
day.
active chapel, if you will, for actual wedding ceremonies.
So in a complete chance encounter, he's come up here to collect these chairs, And in the conversation, he finds out we're artists.
Yeah.
Jeff's trying to sell him on the band.
Yeah, and so
obviously.
I'm handing him, one of our cards. And I'm like, hey, we're here for South by.
He
we're
says he's
from
a muse as
Indiana.
well, so he connects with us on an artist level. And this is where we really need Steve to be in this conversation.
But then he just disappears and walks away.
No, because this part of the conversation happened before Steve even got there.
This is true.
Well,
it was you, Bob, and myself that
Yeah.
stumbled upon him first.
Yes, and then he's like, well, if you give me a second, let me collect these chairs. Why don't we go up?
He's like, have you seen the vaults?
Yeah, and he's just like, why don't we go hang out in the vault?
we have no idea what this is.
I have
Yeah.
no idea what this is.
Yeah.
Steve had the biggest heart on.
Oh,
at
dude.
that
As,
point.
soon-
And that's
as soon
why
as
we need
Steve
him to
walked
come
up and
back
heard,
down.
would you like to see the vaults?
So we all volunteered. Like collectively, we grab a couple chairs. He
Yeah.
said he wouldn't do it himself, but we still
Yeah, we
helped.
still help.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
We insisted on helping him. I even made the comment.
Was
I was
this
like,
the-
more hands make for lighter work.
Was it before we got there where we got in a Coney conversation and Bob was trying to convince him that Skyline Chili's the best Coney's or
Oh.
Mr. Coney's?
I don't remember.
I don't
He
remember
does.
that.
He did say he wants to come to our area and try Skyline Chili, Coney dogs.
I know because we have Coney Island here in Fort Wayne.
Yeah.
And Coney Island is a famous Coney. I know. I'm in agreement with you there. Lafayette Coney's better, but Fort Wayne Coney Island is
well known.
nationwide.
It's in
Yeah.
the top three. We
Yeah.
had that
So
conversation.
Gordon's super excited to meet us, and he feels like this is like some sort of like
Yeah, so
It's
Steve,
meant to
fate.
be. So
Yes.
Yeah,
he
he-
didn't
he
actually
says-
ask if we wanted to see the vault. He asked if
did
we wanted to
ask.
see the tower.
The tower, that's right.
He asked if we were wanting to
tower.
see the tower and tour
but
the
one of the
tower.
one of the first questions he asked before you walked up was, "Have you guys seen the vault?"
Okay.
Yeah, and he's like, why don't we go
so
hang
the
out at the vault?
tower. This is
So-
where Steve's pretty much going to take over a
So
lot. But
if
Yeah, here we go. Let's
so
let
for
Steve go here.
Patreon, this is a full Patreon moment.
All right, he did
So-
the Steve move.
Did you do the full Steve move?
it'd be like whiskey
No, 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 no,
meets
no.
Hogwarts.
Oh yeah, there was
So-
a little bit more.
Describe
'cause-
it.
Yeah.
If
Or
you wanted to
Illuminati
actually
whiskey.
see what my reaction was, as soon as Gordon goes, "Would you like to see a tour of the tower?" He walks out of sight, and I do the.
He goes. "Boing, boing, 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 boing."
Yeah, because
He does.
he
He
was
does.
even like, well, we're friends. We can go hang out. And,
Yeah. Try
we can,
some-
We can drink.
taste-
We can drink some whiskey. And,
Taste some tasty whiskey. Yeah.
So Gordon ends up, we gather the chairs.
Boing, 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 boing.
Yeah, oh, fully.
Full.
Yeah.
So we help him fully gather the chairs.
Yes.
Yep.
We rack all of those up. He's pushing them down the trail.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple of us that are a little leg behind.
Yeah.
And I just immediately look at you guys and go, I know you think this is cool, but I don't think you understand the
Nobody-
level
nobody-
of
Of
cool
cool this is.
this is about to be
Yeah, for sure.
for all of us.
Oh my
Yes.
God. And
So-
I'm not even a whiskey guy.
No. And this is the part that is the coolest. It helps if you are a whiskey guy. It does not detract if you were not
Oh, no.
a
No.
whiskey guy.
So
What we got to experience.
So we go into this castle.
Yeah,
Oh, he
so-
walks us up to this big gate.
We
that's
had to go
closed.
literally like a labyrinth gate, like where you're walking down this like
full stone path.
Yeah,
full
so-
stone
What,
pathway.
what I
Bob
enjoy
leans in.
about this is he brings us up to the gate. He's like, "All right, I don't have the keys to the gate, so you're gonna have to climb around the gate and walk up the pathway."
Which is fine. There's a fully walk down
Yeah.
path around
There's
the
a-
Yeah,
ground.
and he's like, "Now I got to go up into the tower and come down to open the doors.
Right.
So I'll meet you at the entrance."
And
And
what did
here-
you and Bob think was going to happen?
So Bob.
What did
leans-
you and Bob think?
No, so Bob leans in on me and he's like, this is really cool, but this feels like one of those movies where something bad's gonna happen. I'm like, yeah, but if it does,
It's
how
a cool
would
story,
that
bro.
be,
If you-
man? You know?
not to cheapen it, but if you ever seen any of the Harry Potters when they're going to Hogwarts,
Yes,
Oh.
and they're walking the
it's
big long
exactly like
bridge
that.
stone path
Yes.
to the school, that's kind of the vibe I got.
But
Like,
it's
you've got
80
this-
degrees
this
and
big,
nice.
And nice, yeah.
There was a couple stone structures and writing.
on the
It's
ground.
like, man, like the
There's
amount
so
of
much
detail that they
stuff.
put into some
Oh,
of these
yeah.
hidden things. And
Well, and Gordon's exact phrase or exact comment to us was there was multiple people who were involved in this, And the idea was that everybody had their own esoteric things that they wanted to include, but they did not share with everybody else. So nobody knows every secret of this unless you manage to talk and get all the secrets from every one of the individuals.
We get up to this small castle with the heaviest wooden door.
Oh my god!
Dude, oh my god! When I went to shut that,
Yeah, and he's like, "Watch your fingers, watch your fingers."
He gets us in. He turns on the lights, and it was just an absolute gorgeous,
Just
like
art gallery
So
on that
art
first
gallery,
floor.
sitting room.
When you
like,
first walk in, there's these arches, right? And it's a silence dome. If you've done architecture, there's a way that you can create the ceiling so that way those people who are standing in the center table cannot be heard by anybody that's on the outside of the dome. And that's the first room we walk into. And right there is a wine rack, right?
So
it's off
Jeff,
to the side.
before you go any further, I want to share with everybody, yes, there are photos. No, we are not sharing them with anybody.
Yes.
This was a kind of pseudo agreed upon thing. That this was a very
It was for us.
intimate.
when we say Illuminati of whiskey, we
Yes.
really mean it.
Oh,
Yeah,
Gordon called us friends. We are friends.
Yes.
Yes, we got very much kind of a tour and an insight and a guided understanding
Of all the
of
things.
all of the things in a way that really, one, would be challenging to share, two, really wouldn't be fair to share.
Kind of impossible. I saw books that I never thought existed. You know,
Yeah.
No,
and
it wouldn't give it justice.
It
No.
really
it would
So-
also be kind of
We're
violating
happy
that
to
friendship.
share what we're calling right now,
Yeah.
but as far as the photos and the videos we have
Or
of anything in there,
some of the stories that were shared with us will not be shared ever.
No, I
Yes.
thought this was really cool because, like, that first floor, like, all the artwork on that first floor was all Don Quixote art.
Don
Jeff
Quixote.
was angry that we didn't spend more time on that first floor, and the guy Gordon's like, "Well, this is the whatever floor. This is where everybody
Yeah.
goes to retreat and get away from
Yeah.
everybody.
They
This is
drink-
whatever.
Oh, wait,
Let's
there's
go."
more.
They come down
and
here.
just like, no.
Thank you for listening to Actually Contrøller. If you liked what you heard, please consider following us on all our socials. You can easily find us on all the different platforms by going to linktree/Contrøller33 or scan the QR code if you're watching the video version of this episode. Thank you, and we'll catch you next time.